Snow. Cornerback number 3, Jamar Williams. Cornerback number 5, Jakari Harris. Free safety number 2, King Hinton. Strong safety number 19, Jaden Jackson. Linebacker number 8, Jackson Samara. Linebacker number 18, Liam Hocutt. And linebacker number 10, Nate Osborne. And your starters on offense, center number 90, Caleb Monroe. Right tackle number 70, Grayson Outlaw. Right guard number 66, Darnell Hamilton. Left tackle number 17, Griffin Snow. Left guard number 63, Ellis Curry. Wide receiver number 2, King Hinton. Wide receiver number 5, Jakari Harris. Wide receiver number 6, Sawyer Talbert. Wide receiver number 26, Scotty Webb. Running back number 3, Jamar Williams. And quarterback number 11, Braxton Wilkinson. Referees for tonight's game. Head referee, Joseph Whitting. Umpire, Charles Braddock. Head linesman, Melvin Jackson. Line judge, Kenneth Wilson. Field judge, Carlton Williams. Side judge, Samuel Lee. Clock operator, John Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that all can to please rise and remove your hats as Mr. Steve Smithwick gives the invocation for tonight's game, and please remain standing afterwards for our national anthem.
Heavenly Father, thank you for the vision you gave Brother Don and for all these ministries that you've placed on this campus. Thank you for that never give up spirit you gave him. Now bless these two teams as they compete tonight. Bless the festivities, and may you get the glory for everything that's accomplished. In Christ's name, amen.
Bye. It's another beautiful football Friday night here in Columbus as the Calvary Christian Knights play host to the Westfield School Hornets out of Perry, Georgia. Two teams, both 5-2, but heading in kind of different directions. We'll explain more. I'm Rex Castillo, joined by a good friend from NGSN, Brett Taylor. My friend, how you doing this evening?
Doing great, Rex. It should be an awesome matchup here tonight. Two teams, as you said, very well balanced as far as both schedules, 5-2 on the season. And the results seem to be on the uptick for both squads. I know as of late, Calvary has dropped a couple, but compare it to last year and previous years since their transition over from GAPS. 5-2, a great season so far. They're looking to build on that. And obviously, Westfield has had some huge victories after a couple of losses early in the year to Deerfield and Tifteria. So it should be a great matchup. We should see, as far as district goes, where both of these teams stand. For
all of you who enjoy the outdoors right now, it finally feels like fall, which means it's finally football weather. Ladies and gentlemen, though, we got to give a big shout out. It is the Master Wall Game of the Week at Calvary, of course, presented by Glenn Smith Chevy, GMC, Coca-Cola, Kinetic Credit Union, and Jack Houston Memorial Hospital and Houston Clinic. Thank you so much for partnering with us right here at Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We are looking at the beautiful field here at Calvary Christian. Team's about to enter the field right here. Again, we mentioned that Calvary 5-2, but they have dropped two games in a row, still looking for that first region win. Westfield, though, Brett, 3 wins in a row, all kinds of momentum rolling in here. Last year, head coach Chad Campbell's squad went 9-3, lost a close one in the semis. We're so close to punching their ticket to the state championship round. Of course, they lost to Deerfield Windsor, who obviously went on to win it. Talk to me about the mindset of Westfield. They're determined to get back not only to the semis, but punch that ticket to the last game of the season.
Yeah, I think in AAA this year, the dynamic is a little bit different for most of the teams, but you still have a top-heavy league. You've got Deerfield Windsor, who is the defending champ.
Of course.
And then you've got John Millage's resurgence, into the tops. In fact, they're sitting at the number 1 ranking so far. So, Westfield is this is where they were last year, in the middle of the pack.
Gotcha.
They're about 5-2, about where they were last year. They went on a run late in the year, kind of swept the Columbus schools, which was a surprise, I think, to everybody. Mm-hmm. They're looking to repeat that. Hopefully, if you're Westfield, that's what you're looking to do. And Calvary obviously has had a completely different season compared to what they did last year. So they're expecting to be a stumbling block here for Westfield, trying to do that. They're hoping to go to 6-2. Westfield's hoping to go to 6-2, and they've got nothing but big matchups coming up in a couple weeks, over the next couple weeks, with Brookstone next week, then Pacelli to end out their regular season, whereas Calvary's kind of already run that gauntlet, so now they're on the other side of it. So it's interesting matchup, and you never know. That football's oblong. There's a reason why. You never know how it's going to bounce, and I'm excited to see a close competition here tonight.
I think you're absolutely right. We keep mentioning this was a revamped season. The Knights, as the Knights and Hornets approach midfield for the coin toss, the Knights didn't win a single game last year. 0-10. Talk about just adjusting to life in the GIAA. It was drinking water through a fire hose on full blast. But the Knights, with some new pieces and new game plans, have absolutely change their fortunes around. Here's a look at your captains right now. Number 11 for Calvary Christian, that is Braxton Wilkinson, who's having a stellar year under center. Number 66, another captain right there, that's Darnell Hamilton. A middle linebacker, defensive tackle, and offensive guard. The man's going to be on the field all day long. Number 12, Nate Stokes, once a backup quarterback, now firmly a linebacker. And Nate Osborne was the backup quarterback. That is number 10. He's filled in nicely at that quarterback role. That middle linebacker role.
Yeah, and for Westfield, you've got number 7, Thatcher Reddick. He's been big, especially inside defensively. You're going to see a lot of big hits for him. You've also got super excited to see him on the football field here tonight.
Mr. Harris, you see that your reputation has preceded you all the way to Middle Georgia.
Absolutely.
The man is a walking highlight film, and he is just a freshman, so buckle up. So, Calvary and the Hornets coming out from the same side of the field. Hornets in their green helmets, white jerseys, and green pants take the field first as the visiting team. Again, they're 5-2, and followed by them will be the Calvary Christian Knights. Green helmets, black pants, and green jerseys as well. Of course, the pink to signify it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We want to give our thoughts and prayers to everyone fighting that tough fight and all the survivors on the other side of that battle. Thank you for being amazing heroes as well. Guys, you're watching Georgia-Alabama Sports Live right here, partnering with our good friends at MGSN. And, of course, we can't do this without some of our incredible partners right here. Got to give a big shout-out to one of the big sponsors, of course. That would be Coca-Cola. I mean, look, when you're in the South and you got to drink a Coca-Cola, right? Tonight's coverage brought to you by Coca-Cola, presenting sponsor of Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. With its deep ties to our schools and strong support for local youth athletics, it was a no-brainer partnering with them. So shout-out to Coca-Cola. Look, crisp fall night, good crisp Coca-Cola. Life doesn't get much better than that, Brett.
Hey, here's my thing. I know it's got Coke as a presenting sponsor. Coca-Cola is probably going to be on the ad that we see later. My thing is a Diet Coke.
Oh, see, there you go.
Nice DC. Got to be chilled. Got to be really cold when I pick it up. Can or bottle doesn't matter, but
okay. See, there's a good debate right there.
I like a can, but if I can get a bottle and be able to screw the top back on, I'm fine too.
Look, a glass bottle Coke is one of the few luxuries in life that I'll always indulge in. It's always got to be a Sprite for me, though, in the bottle as well. You got to twist that thing up because I have a tendency, if I pop that can, I got to chug the thing within the next 30 minutes.
No doubt, because you don't want it to go flat on you.
Exactly. All right, folks. So Calvary won the toss, deferred to the second half. They will kick off. That means we will see the Hornets offense coming up first. We've got to switch up the ball right here. Calvary going right to left, which means the Hornets will respond going left to right on your screen. No more talk. It's done yapping. Enough gas bagging from us up here in the booth. Just about time for toe to meet leather. Let's play some football, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, Will. So if you haven't seen Westfield this year, number 8, Win Hoots, is a player that you really have to be aware of. A lot of speed. He's a member of the record-setting 4x100 team in track and GIAA. And a lot of teams kick away from him or kick short and angled. So we'll see if Calvary chooses to do that. I would probably. But
so it's like kick away from Devin Hester kind of situation.
Yeah, he's got some speed. If he gets in the open field, it's all she wrote. Maybe Harris can track him down.
Here we go. We are underway, and it does head towards the state record holder right there in number 8. Gets a little bit of speed right here, but quickly taken down and brought to the sideline. Hornets will start their drive at about the 22-yard line. So as the Hornets take the field, let's take a look at those projected starters for your Hornets. At quarterback, we get number 11, Brock Johnson, Jackson Hare in the backfield joining him, Ben Holbert, Win Hoots, Sheldon Benton, that dangerous wide receiver core. At tight end, Matt Molina, Sammy McGee, Banks Reddick, Law Leonard, Submission Rigdon, and Maddox Davies doing all the hard work in the trenches right there. Should be a really interesting game as they take their first snaps on the offense right here.
So I was wondering if we would see Jackson Hare. He's been the starter all year, but he's been dealing with a little bit of a hamstring issue.
Understood.
So you'll also see number 9, Drew Keller, at the running back position.
Three wideouts, shift position, and then we got a little more movement there. That is number 7, Thatcher Reddick, moving around. Snap is away. Ball is away, handed off there to number 31. That is Jackson Hare. Eats up all kinds of yards, and looks like the Hornets either got the first down or are right at that first down mark. A great start to the Hornets drive right there. 11:45 left here in the first quarter. Now, that was really interesting that you brought up this, Brett. Win Hoots is a record-setting member of that 4x100 team. Of course, it's very common to see that when it comes to the college level. A lot of your football athletes will run track as well. That is such a dangerous weapon to look out for.
Yeah, there's no doubt. He's got all the speed. Him and Stone St. Clair, who you won't see tonight, who's been on the injured list since their Southland game, which was game 2. And there's a keeper up the middle. Good job right there in the interior of the defensive line from the Knights to stop Brock Johnson, I don't know, looks like he may have picked up enough for the first.
Sure looks like the junior quarterback resets the downs for the Hornets, and it is now first down for Westfield as it's now 11:20 left here in the first quarter. Really interesting, a couple snaps already. Hornets like to change up that formation a ton, keeping the Knights defense on their toes. And once again, here we go. Wide receiver shift around. Everybody set. Here goes Brock, looking for that snap. Takes it, fakes the handoff yet again. Decides to call his own number. Gets to the 40. Changes field. Once again, back-to-back first downs for the junior quarterback. Reset him up for the Hornets. A lot of a ground attack here right now, Brad. If you haven't seen Westfield a ton, could we expect them to have a balanced attack, but also establishing the running game that sets up everything else later in the game?
You could see them be very balanced. Coach Chad Campbell does a lot in the quarterback run game because he has one, if you will, as the saying goes. He has someone, as looks like they're going to get Westfield for a penalty, but he has a runner at quarterback that is very physical. Many times on our Westfield broadcast on Middle Georgia Sports Network, we equate him a little bit to Haynes King up in Atlanta. And he's got a lot of those same qualities, and he likes to finish runs. But right there, the 5-yard penalty backs him up. So Calvary hoping they can take advantage of this 1st and 15 for Westfield.
Absolutely. So Haynes King also, if you will like watching Georgia Tech, likes to put himself through a car crash every Saturday.
Yes.
So a lot of toughness right there. Once again, fakes off the head. A little confusion at the junction. And this rush puts the Hornets even further back. Big time tackle right there by the defense. So what looked like a first down by Brock ends up being, 2nd and 15 for Westfield. Not quite 2nd and Perry just yet, but it's a good distance. 10:26 left here in the first quarter.
And this is where you may see Coach Campbell go to some kind of screen play here with Win Hoots. They love to get him involved in a screen game.
Brock fires, bounces off of Win Hoots' chest right there, and unfortunately that's going to set up 3rd and long once again. It's got to be frustrating. I know I've got to get the nerves out, but if you hit your receiver right on the numbers, you would want him to bring that in, but here we are, 3rd and 16, 10-12 left here in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's been a new development for Westfield the last few weeks. They've had some drops and, obviously playing on the road in a loud environment, as you can hear and see our camera shaking a little bit from the home stands. That can happen, and right now I think Westfield's probably going to make a safe call here, maybe a screen to a running back, maybe a run play, just to try to keep some field position.
There we go. All right, his way. Well, Brock decides to keep it. Airs this one out and was looking for Matt Molina right there, the senior tight end, but it hits turf. And, well, that means at least it wasn't a turnover for Westfield. Take a little bit of a risk, but this will be a punt. The punt team coming on for Westfield. So you mentioned that Win Hoots was the problem for Westfield right there, Brett. Well, Jakari Harris, Jakari Harris, number 5, the standout freshman, also returns kick. So if you kick to him, buckle up, folks, because it could be a highlight to the far side.
Yeah, I saw his big run last week, I think, against Pacelli.
Yep.
And then he had another one the previous week against Brookstone. So
again, just a freshman. Punt will be away with 10:04 left here in the first quarter. This one a little bit of a dribbler, and
I think they're going to say it hit 25.
Oh, wow.
For Calvary.
So if it hit a Calvary player, that means the Westfield Hornets offense will take the field once again.
Let's replay this and see.
And the PA announcers are announcing that a Calvary player was hit by the punt. So that means it's a live ball. The Hornets jump all over it, and now Westfield gets back on the field with their offense in the best position they had of the night. 9:59 left here in the first quarter. Brett, I don't know if you had that one in the playbook, but it worked out as one of the better offensive plays tonight.
It's unfortunate for Calvary. You hate to put your defense right back out there on something like that, and you feel like you did a good job of getting Westfield off the field after it looked like they were picking up some momentum in the run game. But special teams are important, and that's why you see games decided in that area of the game so many times, and there's a penalty to kind of consolidate the turnover, if you will, for the Hornets.
And the Knights get called offsides. Looks like you have one thing go bad, then another one pile up as well.
Here's the defense for the Knights.
Let's take a look at the projected starters for those Knights. Number 17, Griffin Snow, Darnell Hamilton, Caden Concepcion, and Jack Evans down there in the trenches. Your linebacker core, Liam Hokut, Nate Osborne, and Jack Samara. In the backfield, King Hinton, Jaden Jackson, Jakari Harris, and Jameer Williams. That athletic defensive backfield has caused a lot of problems for offense. This one is a handoff. Knights will push forward, and it is the Hornets will push forward. It is a fumble. It looks like it's recovered by the Knights. Number 25. Jack Evans with a big hit. Jedediah Holcomb lost his helmet, but recovered the ball, and the Knights will take over. 9:46 left in the first quarter. Brett, this is an interesting game right here in the first quarter.
Right off the bat, and the thing that I was concerned about there for Calvary is, and maybe they let it play out, which I'm fine with because they stripped them. But when that helmet pops off, that normally kills the play. And if they didn't have possession, that was what I was concerned with. But obviously, they allowed that to kind of go on. Just makes common sense, in my opinion, because Calvary's going to recover that ball.
You don't want to kill the momentum of that big time play.
And then you got to blow it dead to keep the players safe after that.
Because some of these kids will run through a brick wall without a helmet.
Absolutely.
So now here come the Knights offense. Braxton Wilkinson, the standout quarterback, taking over this year, has led this high-flying turbo offense. 9:46 left here in the first quarter. Fake snap right there. And we got Jakari Harris going from left to right. Handoff to number 5. Looking for some opening. Shakes off one defender. All right. A decent 4 to 5 yard gain right there. Number 5, Jakari Harris, that freshman defensive back and wide receiver, already built and looking like he's a junior out there, but a very dangerous weapon.
Yeah, great job right there of getting upfield. Westfield didn't do a good job of closing on the backside, and Jakari Harris does a good job cutting it back against the grain and picking up 6 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 4. And Calvary, I think they just want to be consistent running the football down the field. Westfield gave up some yards last week against Strong Rock, and I think they probably saw that on film, that there's some yards that could be gained there.
Absolutely. Jakari Harris goes from bottom of your screen to up top. Wilkinson. Snap is away in that shotgun formation. Handoff to number 3, Jameer Williams. Gets a pretty decent gain here, just chopping away here. So it'll be another 2nd down or 3rd down here, less than 5. Of course, wanted to give a big other shout out to our another sponsor, Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. Hey, from day one, Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika has been with us, proud to be a first presenting sponsor on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Thank you so much for being with us and bringing the highlights and action from all these players around the area. So 8:42 left here in the first quarter, 0-0 on the scoreboard. A really interesting game so far. Myself and Brett Taylor here. We had a punt ricochet off a Calvary Knights player, so that means it was a Westfield ball, and then Westfield got stripped by Calvary's defense, and that's how we ended up here. 8:30 left here in the first quarter. Wilkinson, snap is away with a player in motion. It's on the turf, picks it back up, flings it out there, and just out of the reach of his wide receiver right there. That would be Sawyer Talbot, the junior wide receiver and defensive back.
Yeah, that play was just kind of doomed from the start. You see here on the replay, and
just trying to make something out of nothing at that point, and we're just lucky it wasn't a turnover for the Calvary Christian Knights. So that means it is 4th down for the Calvary Knights, and looks like they will punt this one away as they're pretty much still in their own territory. Number 8, Win Hoots back there, the dangerous weapon that Brett brought up, and a state record holder in the 4x100. So, look, if you kick it to him, buckle up because it could be a ride. All right, punt, ball's away. Ball is in the air. Big time punt. Win looking to bring it in and does. At the 20-yard line, finds some daylight. Switches field. Has more green grass in front of him. He's at the 25-30, 35-40, 45-50. Win looking for something here. And the flags do fly. Got some pink flags on the field.
It's an illegal blindside block. So it's one of those. It's a player safety issue, and you've got to call it.
You got to call it, and that's probably a big reason why he was sprung for all that daylight. Big block, but gotta play it clean right here, folks. So while Win was brought down in Calvary territory, it looks like they will be marched back to where the foul happened.
Yeah, let's see if we can get you a replay here at.
You want to just help your teammate out because Win is such a dangerous weapon, but you can't do that kind of stuff. Brett mentioned it earlier, just a player safety situation right there.
Yeah, and that used to be a thing back in the day where you could do that.
Take a guy's head off.
We've seen offensive linemen get taken out in the NFL. We've seen punters get peeled back on. I remember playing wide receiver in high school. You know, you had the crack motion coming from the outside, and then you would go crack and blindside block the linebacker.
Gotcha.
The outside linebacker on your side coming out to try to get the sweep play. That was a very popular, and that's now illegal. So anything where a player is kind of defenseless, can't see a hit coming, that's something they want to get out of the game.
And just keep everybody safe and on the field. 8:06 left here in the first quarter. Hornets taking over deep in their own territory. We thought it would be a big return, but it was flagged back because of that illegal blindside block. All right, here we go. Ball is away. Brock finds looks like
number 17, Ben Holbert.
Ben Holbert right there. A minimal gain, maybe 1 or 2 yards at that point. So we're still in this part where it looks like both teams are still trying to figure this out, right, Brett? We've had a couple explosive plays, but some penalties have brought stuff back, and that's kind of expected, right? At the beginning of the game, you got a whole bunch of jitters. We'll see which team finds their momentum first. 7:40 left here in the first quarter, and it is 2nd and 9 for Westfield. Once again, if that formation shifts, this is really interesting. Keeps Calvary on their toes for sure. Johnson, snap and is away. Looks like it's a handoff right there. Number 31 finds some daylight, gets past the first down marker, and it's resets the downs for Westfield right there. So it looks like this grounded game, Brett, working right now. You mentioned this balanced attack, so we got to see a good combination of run and pass from Chad Campbell's squad.
Yeah, and Westfield's going to stay balanced. That's just their identity. They're about 170 to 160 passing to rushing on the year. Somewhere around the 300-yard mark has been their total. So, yeah, I suspect you're going to see a good balance of both, especially with Jackson here back in the backfield.
Brock now has 2 receivers to his left, 3 to his right. Here comes a man in motion. Looks like it was supposed to be hand up, but decides to call his own number. Golly, we talk about a Haynes King kind of run, as you mentioned.
Yep.
4 or 5 guys tried to tackle him and tried to take a couple with him, but all that contact for about 3 or 4 yards, yeah, that's very Haynes King of him. Take all the body shots in the world.
And Brock, Westfield uses that jet motion a lot. They have the opportunity to hand it off, obviously, but trying to stretch the middle of that defense and try to get some running seams. Calvary doing a really good job of closing things up in the middle, though.
Brock, claps his hands for the snap, but this time communicates another play. 2 players in motion here, going from top of the screen to the bottom of the screen. Snap is away. Calls it, looks like he's going to keep this one as well. Finds a little seam, gets through, past the first down marker. Looks like brought down eventually by number 13, Joshua Steed right there. Big time. And again, this is just another body shot. Keep the chains moving, keep the clock rolling. 6:10 left here in the first quarter. Still 0-0 between the Hornets and the Knights.
And you could see Westfield maybe lean a little bit more towards the run here because they have been very successful so far running the ball. I think what helps balance them out is you get defenses trying to load the box and then they can hit the explosive over top, which I'm sure Calvary does as well with Harris on the other side. So I think you got pretty similar teams here, especially offensive philosophies.
Brock keeps the ball himself yet again, met by 2 or 3 Knights for another 3 or 4 yard gain. And absolutely, it's that lulling the defense to sleep here. You think it's going to be run. All of a sudden, they bust you for a 30 or 40-yard pass play right there. Hey, real quick, guys, we also got to give another shout-out to another sponsor here, Kinetic Credit Union. Kinetic Credit Union is proud to be a champion of our local student-athletes. We're excited to welcome them as a presenting sponsor of Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. Of course, they're a big part of supporting high school sports and the communities that make them great. Gotta love all of our partners in the community for making this happen. And, of course, big shout-out to MGSN for coming down and helping us cover down on this incredible game here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brock gets a snap away. Looks like it'll be a handoff this time. It is number 31, the big fella, Jackson Hare, outside linebacker and running back, the senior. Close to the first down marker. Will they give it to him? Man, if it isn't a first down there, Brett, it's got to be just inches, 3rd and inches for that snap right here.
You know, this isn't bad for Westfield, I don't think. You feel confident with your ability to run the football tonight, so you would think you could pick this up pretty easily. Do you go shot play here? But no, they're not. They're going to hand it off. Here goes Hare.
Once again, gets outside from 7 to 8 yards. And my goodness, it has been a healthy dose of one Jackson Hare for another first down for Westfield as the clock keeps ticking. 4:24 left on that first quarter, and it has been consistent. Run for the Hornets, and it's going their way right now. Deep now, first time I believe in Calvary territory, outside of the punt, of course. But
yeah, Calvary's got to bow their neck here because
at this point for sure
they really need to try to get off the field here for their defense, get some rest, and let that offense get out and work.
All right, Brock this time fires a screen pass. Big hit right there. My goodness. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Number 5, Jakari Harris with a big-time statement. Clean hit, and that screen pass goes absolutely nowhere because, my goodness, Mr. Harris says we're going to stop the party right here. And that could be one of those, again, as you mentioned, Brett, bow your neck right here. Got to get some momentum going on your side. That's one way to do it, my friend.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, for Westfield right here, that lets me know on the outside we may not can win out there tonight.
Okay.
With the athletes out there that Calvary has, and Calvary coming up with a big play in the backfield to try to put Westfield behind the down and distance. Big play right there for the Knights.
All right. Well, Brock scrambles out of trouble right there. Gets out of there and finds a man. Number 10 is Shelton Benton. Brought down at the 2 or 3 yard line. What a way to respond for the Hornets. 3:31 left in this quarter, and my goodness, the Hornets knocking on the door already. What a response. A great replay right there. Gets out of trouble. Brock kept his eyes downfield and finds a man. Incredible play.
And Shelton Benton is not a player that would be a go-to for Westfield, but you're running that I love football route in the middle of the field and, gets his number called, and a great job right there, losing him a little bit in the defensive backfield for Calvary, and you really have to hold Westfield to a field goal attempt here if you are the Knights.
3:22 left here in the first quarter. First time that Brock and his offense are sniffing the end zone at this point. Right now lined up in that shotgun-ish formation, a bunch of big fellas up front of them, and, of course, number 31, Jackson Hare, who's been so reliable on this drive. Can they punch it in?
So you've got Molina at tight end here.
Big boy, right?
And then you've also got Thatcher Reddick, who's the middle linebacker, in at H-back. And looks like going to change the play at the line.
Adjustments made. A couple of Hornets go from one side to the other. All right, snap is away. This time handed off to Hare. Hare trying to fight for more yards, maybe 1 or 2, but kept short of the goal line.
Good job right there inside for Calvary, just clogging things up and making it difficult. And you wonder if Coach Chad Campbell may get on the perimeter here with Brock Johnson and try to give him a run-pass option. And, the more you can stretch that defense. Here's the problem, though, with Calvary, in my opinion. So much speed in the defensive backfield. Can you beat them to the point?
Right. Well, if you were a Philadelphia Eagles fan, you'd see your 7th tush push at this point. But here goes Brock on the keeper. Goes to his right side, trying to get to the corner. Into paradise, and the Hornets get on the board first with 2:27 left here in the first quarter.
Yeah, so great job right there. Great. That'll be 6 for the Hornets, and they take the early lead. Westfield on top 6-0. And Calvary looking to respond on offense when they get the ball next.
And a great job by the Hornets to eat up all kinds of time, right? My goodness, that most of this first quarter was on that drive, and we're going to keep making those Haynes-Kings comparison. Sure looked like what King would do next to the goal line there for the Yellow Jackets. Kick is away. And does Brock kick the extra points too?
Yeah, he's a field goal kicker. And last week against is 7-0 your score after the converted extra point. But last week against Strong Rock, with about, I want to say about 3 minutes to go in the game, somewhere in there, had about a 42-yard field goal attempt, just hit the crossbar on the front side. Fortunate for the Hornets, they got the football back, were able to punch it in late. They won 21-14, but he can do a lot of things. He punts for him, he kicks for him. He's kind of Mr. X, if you will.
At Mr. Everything for sure. And I guess the guy just likes putting up points for the Hornets. Hey, got to give another big shout out to a great partner of ours. That is Houston Clinic. They're proud supporters of local sports and a presenting sponsor of us right here at Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Houston Clinic, excellence in orthopedics since 1949. Thank you so much for everything that you do right there.
And right now, I think Calvary, Rex, they have to put together a drive, give their defense. I don't know how many players they have going both ways, but they have got to give those defensive players some opportunity to get a breather, get their feet back underneath them, because as you mentioned in the last drive, if they keep getting these body blows from Westfield and they're not able to respond and get some rest, it may be a long night. But we know how quickly they can strike on offense, so hopefully for Calvary, they put together a good plan on this next drive.
All right, a little fake right here. And the man who scored
That's interesting. The ball falls now.
Oh, boy.
That's always fun.
Of course, it makes it a little interesting for sure. Brock, who had just scored the touchdown, scored the extra point, and now is going to do the kickoff. I think at this point, we're never going to see this man off the field unless defense comes on. All right, kicked off to Jakari Harris. Harris spins out of one tackle, but brought down at the 38-yard line, folks. And one of those guys who could always be up for our Alex Quinney Player of the Game. This is one of the things we love to do is see who could be your player of the game with everything going on. Has been an amazing opportunity to catch up with who is going to be that guy who stands out. Could it be someone for, a guy like Brock Johnson, who pretty much does everything. A guy like GIAA Harris, who, again, his reputation is now all over the state of how athletic he is. But let's see this now here, Brett. 2:19 left here in the first quarter, and it is the Knights who take the offense. Knights offense turn to take the field. Braxton Wilkinson, that dynamic quarterback, he's had a lot of time to rest. Can they get something going for the Knights? Snap is away. Handoff now to number 3. That is Jamar Williams looking for some daylight, maybe 1 or 2 yards. One interesting thing about this Hornets defense here, Brett, they love to swarm the ball. You're going to see multiple hats on the ball, aren't you?
You are, absolutely. Here's Calvary's offense here at quarterback number 11, Braxton Wilkinson. Running back number 12, Nate Stokes. You've got wide receivers all over the place. Number 2, King Hinton. Number 5, GIAA Harris, we already talked about. Number 6, Sawyer Talbot. Number 14, Jack Evans. You've also got at the line, you've got Curry, Hughes, Monroe at center, Snow at right guard, and Hamilton at right tackle. We'll take a look at the Westfield Hornet defense after this play.
1:45 left here in the first quarter. One man in motion, Wilkinson. Snap is away after the clap. Looking for a man right here. Finds a wide open number 2. That'd be King Hinton, the freshman wide receiver and defensive back. Gets him even closer to the first down marker, make it about 3rd and 3. So at this point, we're not looking for super explosive plays. We're just trying to get these guys in a rhythm. It's looking what
really
Calvary
good
needs to do.
curl route there to the inside.
Absolutely.
He gets a first down, gets to the sticks, and does exactly what you're supposed to do. Sits down in the soft spot of that zone. Here's the defense for Westfield. As you see, number 27 at defensive end, Brooks Bentley. You've got number 50, Caleb Andrews at nose guard. Number 19, Luke Wicker, defensive end. And then your linebackers are Gillis, Reddick, Black, and Keller. And safeties, Sexton and Doster. Cornerbacks, Hoots and Staines.
A couple juke moves here from one. Jamar Williams, another dynamic weapon for the Knights as he gets the first down for Calvary. 1:10 left here in the first quarter. So here we go. Calvary's starting to find their feet underneath them, Brett.
Exactly what you need if you're the Knights. You've got to sustain a drive here and try to get the ball moving down the field and put some pressure on Westfield.
Those defensive guys need a rest because they were on that field for a whole lot of time trying to hold back the Hornets offense. But just 1 minute left here in the first quarter. Snap gets away from Braxton Wilkinson, looking for a man downfield, and does he find him? He does. It looks, for now, Jackson, Sawyer,
they're talking about it.
Talbot.
They're going to say he caught it. So good play right there.
Way to stretch out for a young man. That gives Calvary a first down. It sure does. Let's reset the sticks. And here we go. Under a minute to go. Knights trailing 7-0, but Braxton Wilkinson and this Knights offense have something cooking. Check out that replay on the move right. Great job by the wide receiver to lay out and keep one of the feet in bounds. So here we go. First down for the Knights. 1st and 10. There's a couple
running back there of holding on to the football, being tackled from behind. Coming over the top there was Carter Black, number 2, and the running back there for Calvary, number 3, Jamar Williams, does a great job covering it up. So great drive, great response here for Calvary. Just what they needed to try to kind of settle things down for the Knights.
That penalty puts the Knights closer to the goal at this point. Could they respond right here? 43 seconds left here in the first quarter. Here comes Braxton Wilkinson in that familiar shotgun formation. Once again, can the Hornets bow their neck this time around? Wilkinson gets the ball. Handoff once again to Jamar. This time he's met by a host of Hornets. Maybe gets a yard or two, but then thrown down right about the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, just a good job swarming to the football. No cutback lanes there for Williams, and I think as the field shrinks down here near the goal line, you're going to have to come up with something creative, something on the outside to try to give your runners and your athletes get some space, give them a chance to operate and create, because it just gets all congested down there.
And that's the big thing. Space is a premium when you get down to this part of the field. But it looks like we are going to count it down to the end of the first quarter. So it ends with Westfield up 7-0 over Calvary Christian. But Calvary knocking on the door to try and even up the score. You're watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live from Calvary Christian School. We'll be back after this break.
For the big, for the small, the short and the tall, peacemakers, risk takers, for the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists, for long distance love, for the farsighted, nearsighted, for introverts and extroverts, for the thinkers and the doers, for old friends. Coca-Cola, for everyone.
Whether you're building your business or finding your dream home, G2 Real Estate is with you every step of the way.
It's a great day for a new Chevrolet from Glenn Smith in Opelika. Hit the road in a rugged new full-size Chevy Silverado with discounts up to $12,250 off MSRP. New Chevy Traverse, the spacious and comfortable ride with affordable pricing. Now with discounts up to $4,000 off MSRP. People from all over the USA are coming to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Get ready to drive and get ready to smile.
Welcome back to Calvary Christian School. Rex Castillo with Brett Taylor here as the Calvary Christian Knights trail Westfield School, the Hornets, by 7-0, but they're already knocking on the door of...
It looked a little funny.
All right, looks like the White Hat says that a couple Knights moved a little early. Hey, folks, I know that we're in the second quarter. We just started it, but look, this halftime show, you're going to want to stick around. It's the halftime update show with Richard Holdridge, presented by the Beck Center. It's Richard Holdridge going to give us all the scores from around the state, and it's, of course, brought to you by the Beck Center. These highlights, these scores, they do a great job making sure we're all caught up on all the action around the Peach State and the GIAA.
Yeah, you've got some big games. Americus Sumter taking on
Carver right there.
Over in Americus.
Braxton Wilson with the ball, under some pressure, finds some more space, trying to direct traffic, but he will be pushed out of bounds by number 26 right there, James Moore, the freshman middle linebacker. Great job to step up for his squad over there. So now, 3rd and 10, Brett. It can get pretty frustrating down here. When you see the end zone, you see it right there, but the congestion, bragging rights, and a jug head back to one campus today.
Hey, I like it. I like the name.
11:51 left here in the second quarter. Wilkinson looking for a man, but this time brought down in the backfield by big number 52. That'd be Sammy McGee, a junior tackle and defensive tackle right there. So 4th and 14 for the Knights. Looks like they will bring out the special teams unit right here. Big time stop, bowing your neck when you're up against your own end zone right there, Brett. So big shout out to the Hornets for that.
Yeah, no doubt. Great job right there of creating some negative plays. Now you force a longer field goal and you keep the Knights out of the end zone, which, you would have probably cashed in. You'd have taken it to the bank that the Knights were going to get 7 there. And here's the kick away.
Kick is away. Griffin Snow, the man, to put the Knights on the board. Calvary trails, Westfield 7-3 with 11:03 left here in the second quarter.
What a kick right there. I'm really impressed with his leg. Let's see a replay of that.
I believe that's just over a 30-yarder right there. And plenty of room to go right down the middle. Leave no doubt.
So great job there from Calvary, and at least getting on the scoreboard, creating a long drive, giving your defense some rest, exactly, other than picking up the additional 4 points on a touchdown, exactly what you want if you're the Knights of Calvary.
Last thing you want to do is be shut out at home. Could have said it better, Brett, but here is the offense that has had plenty of rest as well.
I don't think with Calvary's weapons they were going to be shut out at home.
You know what? You bring up an excellent point. When you're freshman, Jakari Harris and Jamar Williams, a junior, as a dangerous wide receiver, running back, they put him at every position at this point, Brett. Just call him a weapon at this point. He's just an athlete. Kick is away. Here come the Hornets with their offense once again. Winhoots scoops his one off the turf. Gets to about the 35-yard line, now at the 40. And a great return right there.
Yeah, the one good thing that Calvary's doing that I like on these kickoffs, when you have a dangerous returner, even though they're letting him get his hands on the football, they're putting him in a position where he's got to take either kind of a bending run to get back out to this middle of the field, or he's got to try to find a seam up the sideline. So they're really getting him in that coffin corner over there. They'll give up yardage out to the 35-yard line.
I'll give you 20 or 30, right?
Yeah, and play defense, then give you 75 to the house.
Exactly, because that's going to be a long day in the film room when you come back over the weekend. 10:54 left here in the second quarter. Here come Brock and this Hornets offense that ate up so much time in the first quarter. Man in motion right now. Brock scanning right there. Number 15 picks up the screen pass, dodges one defender, spins out of another. Ball is out. Who's going to fall on top of it? The Knights say they have it, but a flag came out as well. And for now, it is a Calvary Christian ball. What a defensive stop right there. We got to check the penalty right here, but Knights plenty of reason to celebrate as they take over for now at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, I think it's going to stand. I think they're going to get a hold maybe out here, and we'll try to.
Here comes the white hat with the explanation as we have two pink, not yellow flags on the turf right now. Here comes a replay. What a big-time strip right there. Evan Skinner could not hold on to the ball.
Yeah, I think it's going – I thought it was going to be a hold the whole way.
Holding is the official call on the Hornets. And, of course, the Knights decline it, which means that offense back on the field with 10:43 left here in the second quarter.
So it seems like two steps forward for Westfield, one step back.
Right.
And then Calvary playing very opportunistic so far. And you've had now 2 turnovers for Westfield, 1 for Calvary. And,
it's going to be an interesting game here in the second half.
It's evened out a little bit here because you obviously saw the turnover from Calvary, but then a turnover right back on the next play. Surprised that Westfield's having trouble holding on to the football, but Calvary's creating these turnovers.
Absolutely.
So you got to do something different if you're Westfield.
Wilkinson gets the ball, finds his man, number 2. That is one King Hinton. Makes a couple moves on that slant. First down, Knights. 10:35 left here in the second quarter. So here we go. This is a team, Brett, when Calvary gets a ton of momentum, they're definitely tough to stop. They get into that second gear, and it's almost like NASCAR. You get them up to 110, 115 miles an hour, you're not catching them at that point. 10:32 left here in the second quarter. Calvary had to settle for a field goal, a great 35-yarder right. Of course, number 17, Griffin Snow. But Braxton and his boys looking to take the lead here with another score. Man in motion. Wilkinson calls for the snap. Ball is away. Handoff there to number 3, Jamar Williams. Finds a seam, but makes one man miss. Takes down 2 of them. First down, Knights once again. Jamar Williams gets some space. It's going to hurt. First down, Knights.
Yeah, great job of hitting the hole, and instead of trying to keep the ball to the outside, he cuts back through the hole in the alley there and just picks up hard yardage after it. Good blocking on the outside as well.
Absolutely. The junior running back not shy from contact, and now the Knights are set up deep at about the 25-yard line of the Hornets. Wilkinson sends a man in motion. Snap is away. Handoff to number 5, Jakari Harris, the dynamic weapon, held for about a 2 or 3 yard gain at that point. 9:35 left here in the second quarter. As we mentioned, Brett, you coming down from MGSN, you've already heard that this kid, a freshman, Jakari Harris, is a dangerous weapon. So, for the Hornets, if he gets the ball, we got to get two or three guys to the ball at that point, make sure and try and contain him as much as we can.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to be aware of where he is on the field at all times. You definitely don't want him to get in space and take the ball the distance.
9:10 left here in the second quarter. Wilkinson back in that familiar shotgun formation. 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. That is Jamar Williams joining him in the backfield. Sends a man in motion. Jamar, nope. Decides keeps his own number. Wilkinson up past the 10-yard line. Again, here we go. Knights back in familiar territory. Deep inside the end zone, deep inside the red zone, and can sniff the end zone from here. Here goes Wilkinson doing his best Haynes King impression. It's like, you know what, boys? I'll call my own number. I'll take care of it.
Yeah, he's playing well so far and doing a good job, especially trying to corral some snaps that are maybe a little bit not where they're supposed to be. He's done a good job managing the offense.
Braxton gets away from pressure. Will he keep it again? Looks like he will. Decides to put his shoulders down, tries to spin out of it, but he is stopped for about a 2 or 3 yard gain. And I think, Brett, we're seeing this too. Braxton not forcing the issue. I'm not going to throw it in a place where the Hornets can go get it. I'm not going to run into 5 guys and all of a sudden it'll be a negative gain. with a discipline off a defense like you have in Westfield, you just got to take what the defense gives you, right?
Yeah, misdirection has been an Achilles heel for Westfield. You've seen it on this drive. A lot of jet motion,
right?
Trying to get their eyes in different places and using the quarterback run game, just like Westfield did on previous drives. So a good strategy here to try to finish this thing off for Calvary.
And Jamar Williams will finish it off right there. A touchdown for the Knights. Put up 6 for now. And for now, the Knights lead 9-7 with 8 minutes left to go. This was, as we just mentioned, misdirection. Look, Jamar is great at those quick cuts, fast twitch stuff. Let's say if we get a replay up here, but Jamar Kalash getting into the end zone, one of the dangerous and most reliable weapons we have for the Calvary Christian Knights as they lead 9-7. We'll see if number 7 Griffin can make it 10.
I think I've got it here. Here we go.
And this is why Brett is so good. He gets paid the big bucks. Big time juke and a spin to get into the end zone at that point.
And it looks like they went for 2. Do we have a snap problem on the kick?
It looks like the extra point is no good.
So blocked.
9-7 blocked there by Westfield. Not a 3-point lead, but Calvary does take the lead at that point. Hey, we wanted to give another big shout out, folks, to one of our presenting sponsors. That is, of course, Coca-Cola. We just learned that Brett is a Diet Coke guy.
Absolutely.
I'm a big Sprite guy, so Coca-Cola, a proud presenting sponsor on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Their deep connection to our schools and dedication to youth sports, of course, makes them the perfect partner for games like this. Your Calvary Christian Knights lead 9-7 over the visiting Westfield Hornets. Both teams sitting at 5-2. Who advances to 6-2 and who falls to 5-3? The Hornets looking for their 4th win in a row. What a run they've been on. On the other side, the guys who just scored, the Knights, they've lost back-to-back games, but it's been a tough stretch for them. Those two teams they lost to, battling for the Brucelli jug in both Brookstone and Pacelli.
Absolutely, and you would expect these 2 games going on in Columbus tonight to be down to the wire barn burners.
Absolutely. 7:59 left here in the first half. Toe will meet leather here in just a few seconds. Will Win Hoots make something happen here yet again? There goes number 8. Corrals it in about the 10-yard line. And little fumble here, a little juggle right here, but fine. Stops, maybe trying to find some daylight, but stopped at the 20-yard line.
So we'll see if Westfield can settle things down on the turnover side of things, because really, when you look at the scoreboard right here, you've got a 2-1 turnover margin right now favoring Calvary, and that's really the difference in the game. 9-7, 2 turnovers for Westfield, 1 for Calvary, and that's really been kind of the difference. And if I'm tracking player of the game so far in this one, Rex, I'm looking at both quarterbacks.
You know what? I think
number
you're
11.
Right.
I think Jamar Williams, Jackson Hare for Westfield, and Jakari Harris have been outstanding, but I think the quarterbacks and the stability there have been the key.
Absolutely. Well, Brock Johnson trying to bring some stability back to the Hornets. Again, their last drive immediately stopped after a fumble right there. But this time we give it to big number 31. That is Jackson Hare. Finds off the sideline, plenty of turf eaten up by him. 7:42 left here in the first half, and it's a first down for the Hornets. Again, maybe this is one of those situations where, look, guys, we got to settle this down. Let's just give it to our running back, the big fella, and make something happen for us.
He's a load. I mean, when he gets going downfield,
it is dangerous.
Yeah, he's not the shiftiest, but he does have a little bit of twitch, but he's a load to get down on the ground. And when he gets going, he kind of reminds me of Michael Turner back in the day.
Look at that reference, folks. Some more Scattaboo than Shifty right there.
Yeah,
Brock,
exactly.
This time trying to get it out to his man, number 17.
Such a tough throw far to the wide side of the field, and you're running a screen.
And I look maybe fortunate that it was just forward enough that it wasn't considered a lateral, because that's really dangerous with the screen game right there. But just out of the reach of his man right there. So 2nd down and 10 for the Hornets.
Takes a lot of arm strength to get the ball out there in a place where the receiver can do something with it.
And look, when you're throwing to that side of the field, that's Jakari Harris out there, a dynamic and dangerous weapon. So we saw last time Harris had a big-time hit on a screen, so you don't have a lot of time to get that ball out. All right, Brock decides to keep it himself, tries to go up the middle, but he's met by a bunch of Knights. Maybe dropped for 1-yard loss. 7:20 left here in the first quarter. Hey, look, you brought it up that Brock is more Haynes King-like, and Braxton doing the same thing. These 2 quarterbacks not afraid to mix it up in the trenches.
Yeah, definitely not. And obviously Calvary's made some adjustments in the run game here. They did give up the big run by Jackson here to start this drive, but they're doing a good job in the quarterback run game, which kind of gashed them early on. We'll see what adjustments are made by both coaching staffs as we get to the latter part of this first half.
Brock gets a snap here, trying to find some time, scrambling to his left, but here comes a whole bunch of pressure. Brock decides to take the ball and just get 1 or 2 yards right here, so it'll be 3rd down and maybe 7 at this point, folks. Great pressure by the Calvary Christian Knights, and Brock just, again, doing the smart thing, get as much as he can before it turns into something worse at that point.
Yeah, I was worried about the coaching staff over here for Calvary. It looked like they were maybe getting taken out a little bit, but, yeah, as you mentioned, not a whole lot there. Picks up a couple, maybe 3.
And it's 4th down.
Fourth down and 7. We'll call it a long 6, short 7. But, yeah, definitely what you wanted if you're Calvary. No doubt about that. They're set up to maybe extend this to a 2-possession lead.
Brock, also your punter, is away. That is dangerous. Jakari Harris back there decides to call for a fair catch, and this one they'll let it bounce. It bounces right to about the 11-yard line, so good distance covered. And you're right, Brett. This is exactly what they wanted. They wanted to stop the dangerous Hornets offense, which had so much success on the ground. Now, let's see if we can even extend this lead right here with 6:26 left here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. Westfield has not fared well in close games on the road this year. They played probably their worst game of the year against Tifteria. They went out, they sprinted out to a 13-0 lead, and then just kind of an ugly game the rest of the way. They ended up losing by a point, but this is danger time for them. They've really got to step up here. If Calvary goes down and scores, Calvary comes out of the half and gets the football. So
a lot of momentum heading over to that Calvary sideline. Great point brought up there, my friend. All right, folks, 6:26 left here in the second quarter. Braxton Wilkinson in that fast-paced offense back on the field. Braxton in that shotgun formation. Snap is away. Looking for a man. And eventually he's going to decide to bomb this one to the far sideline and does not find the target right there. I believe that is King Hinton, who has been a reliable weapon this time around. I know that guys like Jakari and Jamar do take up a lot of the headlines, but he has been a reliable weapon. Hey, want to give a big shout out again to Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, the original presenting sponsor on Georgia-Alabama Sports Live, driving local sports forward. Thank you so much for being a part of our team and bringing the action of great games like this. 6:18 left here in the second quarter. Knights lead 9-7. Look to add to that one. Right now, I would say, deep in their own territory at about the 11-yard line. They've been successful on the ground. Braxton and Jamar leading that rushing attack. Can they capitalize here? Braxton scanning. He has 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right, joined by Jamar in the backfield with him. This time, quick screen pass right there. Looks like to Jakari Harris, the dangerous freshman, and he gets about 3 or 4 yards right there and sets it up for a 3rd and, let's call it a long 7 right here, Brett.
Yeah, good job by the linebacker there, Thatcher Reddick, coming in from the outside and cleaning up things. And, obviously a great play call to try to get your dangerous weapon out in the open space, and picks up about 4, so it'll bring up a 3rd down and medium, and we'll see how much you roll the dice here down deep inside your own territory.
Absolutely. 5:40 left here in the second quarter of the first half. Braxton has 3 receivers to his right this time. He'll put Jakari Harris, maybe adjust him a little closer to the line. This time tells him to go to the other side of the field at this point. So Braxton has 2 receivers to his left, 2 to his right, and this time scans. Pass to number 6 right there. That is Sawyer Talbot. Looks like he says he's got a first down, maybe close to that marker. And, yep, the chains will move. 5:17 left here in the first half, and the Knights have a new set of downs.
Yeah, great job. Another one of those curl routes, just sitting down in open space. And I thought he was going to throw it to the back coming out of the backfield and let him go, but he sees the slot receivers for Calvary.
Sometimes the Cadence game can be just as dangerous as a first down as well. And you're absolutely right. Braxton has shown tremendous vision, great football IQ at this point, and it's kept his guys in the game, and it got them the lead here, looking to extend this lead and double up, get a score here, and get the ball back at the start of the third quarter. Look, and I got to give credit where credit's due. It is not easy against this Westfield school defense here, Brett. They're not afraid of contact and swarm really, really well.
Yeah, they're a physical defense. That if I would say anything They maybe don't have as much foot speed.
Gotcha.
But they're definitely stout up the middle. But when you spread them out like this, it's going to be difficult on any team if you get spread out.
And Jamar Williams, it was 1st and 10, and it is a first down all by himself. Takes 2 Hornets with him and reset those chains. 4:19 left here in the second quarter. And he's one of those guys, again, you give him a little bit of daylight there, Brett. You give him, Jakari Harris, just a little bit of daylight. They're going to gash you given the opportunity. 4:19 left here in the second quarter. Folks, again, we have a great halftime show coming up for you with Richard Holdridge. The halftime show brought to you by the Beck Center. They're going to recap all the action from around the state. And there's a lot to talk about from this game. 4:06 left here in the second quarter. And Braxton sends a man in motion, sends Jakari from left to right. But this time we're going to go back to Jamar. Big number 3. Dragging 1, 2, 3 guys with him for about a 5-yard gain. 3:50 left here in the second quarter. It's still 9-7 Knights at this point. And folks, got to give another big shout out to Kinetic Credit Union, a proud champion to our local student athletes. We're excited to welcome them as a presenting sponsor of Georgia Alabama Sports Live, supporting high school sports and communities that make them great, especially with games like this. Who doesn't want to be part of this action, right, Brett?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely great high school action across the Chattahoochee Valley and across the state of Georgia. And
Jakari Harris.
You see some exciting players like this.
The screen pass turns into a first down yet again. Just a little bit of daylight. We talked about him and Jamar. You give them just a few moments to breathe right here, and all of a sudden it turns to something dangerous. So 3:12 left here in the second quarter. As you can see, a little bit more of a deliberate pace here by Calvary, right? You want to make sure that you have give Westfield as little time as possible.
Yeah, you don't want to give the ball back. You definitely want to close this out with a score and don't give the Hornets an opportunity to answer.
And here we go. This time, hand off to Jamar. He's got the first down, looking for a little bit more. Stays on his feet. Takes about 2 or 3 Hornets to bring him down. It was 3rd inches. Guess what, folks? It's now 1st and 10 inside the Westfield territory. From the Westfield 41-yard line, and we are Calvary slowly making their way down into deeper in Hornets territory. This is kind of reminiscent of what the Hornets did to start out the game, right? Earlier in the first quarter here, Brett.
Yes.
Take your time methodically to eating up some clock, making sure the momentum's on your side.
Definitely been a tale of 2 quarters.
For sure. 2:45 left here in the first half. Braxton sends a man in motion. Jamar was in the backfield, now joins 2 other wide receivers to Braxton's left. Braxton scans, snap is away. Looks like he's going to keep it himself. Finds a little bit of daylight. He's got it to the 35 and more. And he'll be close to the first down marker yet again. And this has been all about, all about the Knights eating up the clock.
I mean, to me, this is the perfect strategy. You always talk about the middle 8 and how important it is to win the middle 8. And right now, if Calvary's able to finish this off and score, they would have definitely put themselves in a position to win the game.
2:30 left here in the first half, and that was a first down indeed for the Calvary Christian quarterback. Braxton Wilkinson, a tremendous game so far. No turnovers right now. Hopefully that's not the broadcaster jinx, but here we go. Man in motion right now. Braxton keeps it himself. Gets to the outside, spins out of 1 tackle, and maybe about a 3 or 4 yard gain. And the clock tick, 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 tick. 2:20 left here in the first half.
And both teams, according to the scoreboard, have 3 timeouts remaining. So
so you're saying this 2 minutes can turn into 30 minutes?
Yeah, we can see what gamesmanship there might come about in the final 2 minutes.
I would expect Westfield maybe to take 1. If you get a big stop here, maybe 1 or 2 timeouts to be used.
I think you'd have to get a negative play to do that. But, yeah, I mean, it's definitely on the table.
Braxton, this time hand off to Jamar. He's found a lot of success on the ground. This time 2, 3, maybe even 4 Hornets will meet him at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a 1 or 2 yard gain.
I think right now you're seeing Westfield commit a little bit more personnel to the box.
As you see, like when you want him to this methodical run, you're right, a lot more.
You're gonna have to do something here if you're Calvary to try to catch them off guard. Either some misdirection in like a screen, or something in the intermediate route running here. It's 3rd down and 7?
3rd down and 7, and those wide receivers have been able to find the soft parts of that defense and just sit down and get those crucial first downs.
Now, if you know you're going for it no matter what, then you've got 2 downs to get it.
Big fella, number 25 right there for Calvary. That is Jedediah Holcomb. And you know what? It wasn't pretty, but who said it had to be pretty? First down, Knights with 1:01 left here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and I think Westfield was expecting exactly what I thought that Calvary would do, and they went right back to the run game and spread them out. So continuing to stick with that. We'll see what adjustments are made here. We're under a minute to go.
And it looks like we do have a timeout as the Calvary Christian Knights call the first of their 3 timeouts of this second quarter. And it is 52 seconds left here in the game. Calvary has the ball here, 1st and 10. And you know what? Why don't we take a quick break right here, folks? You're watching us right here at Georgia Alabama Sports Live from Calvary Christian School.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
Imagine making your dreams a reality, achieving your goals and aspirations, and having a financial partner that understands your dreams never sleep. At Kinetic Credit Union, we're more than just a bank. We're 40,000 members strong, with local service, personal connections, and a nationwide network. Leading-edge technology to help you make financial decisions easier, smarter, and safer. We are Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your...
And we are back here at Calvary Christian School. Wilkinson getting out of some pressure. And oh my God, dodges 1 sack. This time decides time to, you know what? Take it yourself, young man. Dodges 1 defender. Look, it could have been a whole lot worse there, Brett.
I don't think he lost a whole lot, did he?
I think he maybe gained a yard, maybe 1 or 2 right there.
Yeah, and not a bad play, and he gets out of bounds too, which helps stop the clock, even though you got 3 timeouts. So you would suspect you would have seen one there even if he would have gotten sacked.
And you know what? Welcome back, everybody, to Georgia Alabama Sports Live. What a way to welcome you back from the commercial break, but with a scramble like that. So they actually said
he picked up 7.
So he picked up 7. Our fault here, folks. So Braxton Wilkinson says, you know what? This I'm gonna take these lemons and make lemonade out of it. Because it's now 2nd and 3 as the Knights look to add to their 9-7 lead over the Westfield Hornets.
Yeah, that could have been danger time right there for Calvary and put them out of the end zone there, but right now they're still right where they need to be. Great pass.
Finds Jakari Harris in between 2 defenders, stays on his feet, and though Muslim dead at about the 2 or 3 yard line. Excellent point again, my friend. But if we're talking about the Alex Quinney player of the game, who of course we will honor when this game ends, Braxton Wilkinson, the way he's been playing, absolutely worthy of that honor. Hey, they're taking a quick timeout. Let's take a quick timeout with them as well. You're watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live here on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be right back right after this.
Real recognize real. Real taste, unmistakably Sprite. Real refreshment, crisp lemon lime. Sprite, obey your thirst.
And welcome back to Calvary Christian School. Brett Taylor, Rex Castillo joining you here up in the booth as Calvary Christian just took a timeout. They're knocking on the door inside the 5 yard line. They can sniff the end zone from here. Knights do lead the Hornets 9-7. Westfield struck first. They got the first touchdown in the game, a running touchdown by one Brock Johnson. But after a fumble recovered by the Knights from the Hornets, they
in dire straits as far as trying to come back in this contest.
All right, here go the Knights, trying to set up for that extra point. Ball is up and through. Make that 16-7. Knights with a big-time lead right now, folks. This is exactly what they wanted to try and add more pressure to Westfield. 17 seconds left here in the second half, and look, Westfield knows there's got to be some urgency here. You're not getting the ball back to start the third quarter because Calvary has taken all the momentum on their sideline.
Yeah, no doubt. And the issue is, can Westfield stop Calvary at this point? Calvary has been been marching it up and down the field the last 2 drives, and Westfield really hasn't had an answer.
Westfield, and as you mentioned, uncharacteristic with those turnovers. A fumble right there led to that touchdown. Another fumble earlier in the game as well. This is not very. If you know Chad Campbell's squad, this is not a usual characteristic of him. Am I right?
Yeah, but for some reason this year, a little bit more turnovers than we've seen in the past. But that might be due to some youth, due to who knows. But right now, a lot of it's being forced by Calvary, so you got to give the Knights a lot of credit.
So 17 ticks left here to go. Calvary kicks the ball off. Windhoots has been the man to try and make something happen. He'll pedal back and pick it up right here. He's at the 25-yard line. Finds some daylight. Gets to the sideline. He's at the 50-yard line. The 40, the 35. 35 right there. What a great return to set up some momentum for the Hornets as they're already in Calvary territory.
Yeah, you definitely did not want to give life there, as we will see the replay here.
Back, he's like, you know what, I got to do something. Try and give us some life. Being in plus territory for your offense definitely helps. But now, can Brock Johnson capitalize on this opportunity for the Hornets right now? 8 seconds. Look, it's fairly easy to say that this is going to be a long pass right here.
You would think you've got to throw something to the end zone.
Brock, snap is away. Here comes some pressure. Has some time, a clean pocket right now. Throws it out to Jackson Hare, but sails over his head. So 4 seconds left here in the second quarter, just before halftime.
And he had him, and that was one of those things, though. Hare's going to have to fall down there and call a timeout, because I don't think if you run any on the end of that one, you're going to get much time, if any, to get out of bounds and or get down and call a timeout. So it's going to have to be quick.
Speaking of timeouts, the Hornets have just taken their first timeout of this half. We'll take a timeout with them. You're watching us right here at Georgia Alabama Sports Live on YouTube and Facebook.
Here they come! More big transport trucks full of new GMC trucks and SUVs to Glenn Smith and Opelika. Choose from a huge selection of the best-selling full-size GMC Sierras. Plus, enjoy no payments until November at Glenn Smith GMC and Opelika. Get ready to drive and get ready to smile.
Welcome back to Calvary Christian School, folks. Knights lead the Hornets 16-7. And look, we're just a few seconds away from halftime. So that also means you can't go anywhere. Richard Holdridge has all the first half highlights, scores, and analysis on the halftime update show presented to you by the Beck Center. 4 seconds left here to go for the Hornets. They're in plus territory, but there is an urgency here. They do not get the ball back when the third quarter starts. That is Calvary, because they deferred to the second half. So Brock Johnson, the junior quarterback, and the Hornets, can they make something happen? Hold up. Looks like we have a timeout here by the Knights.
Yeah, I think the Knights are going to take timeout because they wanted to see what set Westfield was coming out in and try to come up with a defensive plan, because they know how important this is. If they give up a score here, then
it's a 2-point game.
It's right back to any man's ball game, so to speak. At that point.
So, again, just to remind you folks, the Knights have 2 timeouts left. The Hornets have 1 timeout left. Plenty of time for the gamesmanship and the chess game to happen right here. But again, that gives us plenty of time to say thank you to so many folks who have helped Georgia Alabama Sports Live happen, like Houston Clinic, proud supporters of local sports and a presenting sponsor on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Houston Clinic, excellence in orthopedics since 1949. And of course, you know, when you're enjoying these kind of games, you got to enjoy a Coke as well. They were a no-brainer to partner with us right here at Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Their deep connection to our schools and dedication to youth sports makes them the perfect partner for us to bring you all the action from the community. So 4 seconds left here to go in the second quarter. Knights lead 16-7. Brock Johnson, the junior quarterback, trying to make something happen for his Hornets. Here goes Windhoots in motion. A little closer to...
Real recognize real. Real taste, unmistakably Sprite. Real refreshment, crisp lemon lime. Sprite, obey your thirst.
It's a great day for a new Chevrolet from Glenn Smith in Opelika. Hit the road in a rugged new full-size Chevy Silverado with discounts up to $12,250 off MSRP. New Chevy Traverse, the spacious and comfortable ride with affordable pricing. Now with discounts up to $4,000 off MSRP. People from all over the USA are coming to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Get ready to drive and get ready to smile.
Nestled along the Chattahoochee River, City Mills blends historic charm with modern luxury. Stay in boutique-style rooms designed for comfort, just steps away from fine dining at Millhouse Kitchen and Bar. If you're planning a celebration, our event center offers stunning river views, elegant spaces, and a brand new riverside tent, perfect for weddings, receptions, and special gatherings, rain or shine. Whether you're here to relax, explore, or create lasting memories, City Mills is where history meets hospitality.
A state-of-the-art facility, a center for academic and athletic excellence, and we are excited to partner with Roger Beck and the Beck Center. The game that you are watching now as Calvary leading Westfield School at the half, it is 14-6 as Calvary, they have 14 unanswered points, and Westfield School actually took the lead early in the game. And Calvary was able to get 2 touchdowns as they're trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Calvary is leading Westfield School at the half, 16-7. All right, so we also have a game that's at the half down in Americus, Georgia. How about this defensive struggle? The Carver Tigers lead the Sumter County Panthers in a battle of 2 unbeatens. And Carver has a safety. They have punted a couple of times. Sebastian Hurd has a couple of interceptions. But the defense of Sumter County has kept Carver out of the end zone. But right now, it's a 2-0 game in a monsoon down in Americus. And we'll definitely keep tabs on that as Thrift Behringer and Mike Frost are on the call. And at the half, Brookstone leading Pacelli in the battle for the Brucelli Jug at Max Strong Stadium. They lead 10-7 as Scott Miller and Austin Allen on the call. And we'll try to get an update on that as well. We are also at the half as Stars Mill leads Harris County 14-7. This actually 14-6. So we'll get that score update. That's over in Fayetteville. And we also have, let's see, the scores are rolling in. Glenwood leading Dadeville at Sammy Howard Field 14-0. That is in the first quarter, about to hit the second quarter. And we have Auburn leading Smith Station in the first quarter 7-0. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have more on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Halftime Update Show presented by the Beck Center.
At Planet Fitness, the number of different workouts to do.
1, 2,
different clubs to do it in. Friends to do it with.
Looking good, everybody.
Yeah, we are.
And the number of ways to recover from it all. Hot Card Spa.
One more, everybody.
We're all strong on this planet. Planet Fitness.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Carol Perdue in Phoenix City today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Imagine making your dreams a reality.
achieving your goals and aspirations. And having a financial partner that understands your dreams never sleep. At Kinetic Credit Union, we're more than just a bank. We're 40,000 members strong, with local service, personal connections, and a nationwide network. Leading-edge technology to help you make financial decisions easier, smarter, and safer. We are Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
And welcome back to the Georgia Alabama Sports Live halftime update show presented by the Beck Center. We talked about Auburn leading Smith Station 7-0. Auburn trying to bounce back after losing to Central at Duck Sanford Stadium up in Auburn 36-0. Smith Station getting their second win of the season, defeating Jag. We did have some scores from last night in the Midtown Showdown. Columbus goes to 6-1. They're able to defeat the Hardaway Hawks 38-7. Hardaway goes to 0-7. They play Jordan next week. Jordan's on a bye. One of those teams is going to get their first victory of the season. Columbus is going to be on a bye, and then they take on Kendrick in 2 weeks as they are trying to go to 7-1, trying to get a playoff spot. Northside, they lose on the road to Griffin, 60-14. This game was 14-14, but Griffin was able to pull away. Griffin having a fantastic season. They are 6-2 on the season. Down in Americus, the Carver Tigers lead Sumter County 2-0. They're going to be starting the third quarter in just a bit. Brookstone leading Pacelli 10-7 over at Max Strong, 14-0. We'll try to get a better score update for that. Harris County and Stars Mill, they are trailing Stars Mill 14-6. Harris County 3-4 on the season. Stars Mill 1-6. The winner of this game has a favorable position to try to sneak into the playoffs. I think both teams having a tough season. Both teams were playoff teams last year. And then we have Calvary, 16 unanswered points, able to lead at the half against Westfield School. That's the game that you are watching right now, and those are your score updates here on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live halftime update show. A lot of Muskogee County teams are on a bye, to include Shaw, Kendrick, also Spencer, Jordan, and they'll be back next week. And we want to thank Roger Beck. This is a fantastic Beck Center studio, and we appreciate Roger Beck, for allowing us to broadcast in the new Beck Center studio as this Georgia Alabama Sports Live update show is presented by the Beck Center. We're going to go ahead and send it back to the action. Rex Castillo and Brett Taylor over at Calvary, and we'll have more score updates. Enjoy the second half. And we'll see you in a few minutes here on the Georgia Alabama Sports Live halftime update show. We'll be back after this.
A life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
At Planet Fitness, there's strength in numbers. The number of different workouts to do.
1, 2, 3. Woo!
Different clubs to do it in.
5.
Friends to do it with.
Looking good, everybody.
Yeah, we are.
And the number of ways to recover from it all.
You got this, come on.
And it all adds up to one membership. The Planet Fitness Black Card. Access any location, Bring a friend anytime and recover in the Black Card Spa.
One more, everybody.
We're all strong on this planet. Planet Fitness.
Imagine making your dreams a reality, achieving your goals and aspirations, and having a financial partner that understands your dreams never sleep. At Kinetic Credit Union, we're more than just a bank. We're 40,000 members strong, with local service, personal connections, and a nationwide network. Leading-edge technology to help you make financial decisions easier, smarter, and safer. We are Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
And welcome back to the Georgia Alabama Sports Live halftime update show presented by the Beck Center. We want to thank Roger Beck for being in this new studio, as it's a state-of-the-art studio, and we appreciate everything that Roger Beck does for Georgia Alabama Sports Live. The Beck Center is a center of academic and athletic excellence, and we appreciate the support. And so we are going to run down some of the scores that are around the Chattahoochee Valley. We have got 6 broadcasts that are happening tonight as we speak. We're going to start with, in the second quarter, Dadeville has scored a touchdown. They now trail Glenwood 14-8, as that is about 8 minutes left to go until the half. We also have down at TC Brittenfield Panther Stadium, Auburn leading Smith Station 7-0 as they are about to start in the second quarter. So we will keep an eye on that game. Let's talk about some Thursday night games. It's a light lineup. The Muskogee County schools are on fall break, so we have several Muskogee County schools on a bye, but Northside ended up falling to Griffin last night 60-14, and Griffin came out with 46 unanswered points to get the victory to push their record to 6-2. Meanwhile, Northside, after beating Mundy's Mill last week, now they take on Stars Mill next at Kennett Stadium, and Northside trying to bounce back after losing to Griffin. In the Midtown Showdown, the Columbus Blue Devils go to 6-1 as they are trying to make the playoffs for the first time since 2018. Hardaway falls to 0-7. Columbus plays Kendrick next, and Hardaway ends up facing Jordan on Thursday night. Next Thursday, both teams 0-7. Something's got to give. One of those teams is going to get their first victory of the season. As we get ready to start the third quarter down in Americus, Georgia, the Carver Tigers lead 2-0. The battle of undefeateds. 2 top teams in the 2A classification and one of the biggest anticipated matchups in the entire state. Thrip Behringer and Mike Frost on the call down in Americus in practically a monsoon, and it looks like it's a defensive struggle between both teams. And one of these teams, it's not a clinching game, but the winner of this game is going to win the region, looking at the remaining schedule left for region play. Pacelli Brookstone, the Brookstone Cougars down at Max Strong Stadium leads Pacelli 10-7. They've been trading touchdowns back and forth, but Brookstone able to get a field goal to put them up by 3. And up in Fayetteville, Stars Mill leads Harris County 14-6. And we'll definitely keep an eye on this one. At the half, Calvary 16 unanswered points, leading Westfield School 16-7 as Calvary trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Westfield School, who is a 3A team in Calvary's region, has picked up some big wins this year, including over Strong Rock and First Presbyterian Day, trying to get a road victory down in Columbus. And that game we'll keep an update on as well. We also have at TC Brittenfield Panther Stadium, Auburn leading Smith Station by a score of 7-0. Well, this has been the Georgia Alabama Sports Live halftime update show presented by the Beck Center. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll have some more score updates for you. We'll be right back after this.
Imagine making your dreams a reality, achieving your goals and aspirations, and having a financial partner that understands your dreams never sleep. At Kinetic Credit Union, we're more than just a bank. We're 40,000 members strong with local service, personal connections, and a nationwide network. Leading edge technology to help you make financial decisions easier, smarter, and safer. We are Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
Imagine a life-changing. Imagine the fear and unknown.
Fitness, there's strength in numbers. The number of different workouts to do.
1, 2, 3.
Different clubs to do it in. Friends to do it with.
Looking good, everybody.
Yeah, we are.
And the number of ways to recover from it all.
You got this, come on.
And it all adds up to one membership. The Planet Fitness Black Card. Access any location, bring a friend anytime, and recover in the Black Card Spa.
One more, everybody.
We're all strong on this planet. Planet Fitness.
Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Carol Purdue in Phoenix City today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Great day for a new Chevrolet from Glenn Smith in Opelika. Silverado and Colorado trucks ready to roll. Get going in a powerful new full-size Chevrolet Silverado with discounts up to $13,500 off. Drive away in the mid-size Chevy Colorado ready for work or play. Discounted up to $4,000 off. People from all over the USA are going to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Get ready to drive and get ready to smile.
Imagine making your dreams a reality, achieving your goals and aspirations, and having a financial partner that understands your dreams never sleep. At Kinetic Credit Union, we're more than just a bank. We're 40,000 members strong with local service, personal connections, and a nationwide network. Leading edge technology to help you make financial decisions easier, smarter, and safer. We are Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
And welcome back to the Georgia Alabama Sports Live halftime update show. We do have a score update in that Glenwood-Dadeville game. The Glenwood Gators now lead 21-8. If Glenwood wins this game, they will be hosting a home playoff game at Sammy Howard Field. They don't want to overlook Dadeville, but they got the massive showdown next week at Lee Scott. Lee Scott is undefeated. They're actually playing Wadley right now. I'm curious to see what's going on in that game. And we have got a score update for you as Pacelli takes the lead. I know their volleyball teams played tonight at Shorter University, but Pacelli is leading Brookstone 14-10, and that is in the start of the third quarter. Now lead the Smith Station Panthers 14-0 as Auburn trying to bounce back after losing to Central 36-0 last week. Smith Station picked up their second victory of the season, defeating Jag. And so Smith Station know how to run the football. They don't have that dynamic duo with Omar Mabson. He's already graduated. Jackson Kilgore was their quarterback last year. But they've always had a great kicking game. But Auburn's always done a fantastic job going down to TC Brittenfield, and they are leading by 2 touchdowns. Glenwood leading Dadeville 21-8 as that is in the second quarter. And the start of the third quarter, Harris County is trailing Stars Mill 14-6 as Stars Mill played a tough schedule, but so has Harris County. So definitely interested to see how this goes. County 2-0. What a defensive struggle so far for both teams that are undefeated, both 7-0. And this is a battle of two top 5 teams in 2A. Right now, what we're going to do is take a break. And when we come back, we've got more score updates. It's the Georgia Alabama Sports Live halftime update show presented by the Beck Center. We'll be back after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We are counting down the seconds to kick off the third quarter. Your Calvary Christian Knights leading this one 16-7 over the Westfield School Hornets. Both teams coming into this contest 5-2, but the Hornets looking to extend a 3-game winning streak to 4, while the Calvary Christian Knights looking to snap back-to-back losses and try to get back in that win column. Rex Castillo joined with you by Brett Taylor, our good friends at MGSN, coming down here to the west side of the state to help us cover down on this game. Brett, what has impressed you about what Calvary's been able to do? Because Westfield threw the first punch.
Yeah, I think just the response and then also in game, and it's really tough to...
Like a Jamar Williams, a Jakari Harris. Jamar was able to find the end zone yet again. And then, of course, the kicker, Griffin Snow, contributing as well. And at this point, his IQ, his vision, keeping the ball in his away from the Hornets defense has paid off tremendously. They lead 16-7, and they get the ball to start off the third quarter here.
Yeah, so I think for Westfield, you've got to flip the script here in the second half.
There you go.
You cannot continue to allow, obviously, the quarterback run game, but the turnovers, you have got to somehow figure out how to flip that turnover margin. Instead of it being 2-1 in favor of Calvary, you've got to get a couple in this half to try to get back in the game, and you cannot give up a long touchdown drive to start things here. How important it would be for a 3-and-out for the Hornets to get back on moment. I think that would give us so much momentum back to Westfield. But if you're Calvary, you want to keep that ball, hold on to that ball and drain the clock even no doubt.
more.
I think that the first 4 minutes of this half is going to dictate whether or not we have a close game down to the end like we thought we would have,
Absolutely.
Or whether or not we have a Calvary victory by a few scores.
The quarterback, Brock Johnson, will kick this one off to start the second half. And look, Brett's absolutely right. We are one Hornets touchdown away from making this a really interesting game, folks. All right, kickoff is caught by Jamar Williams, who's looking for a hole. That's Jakari Harris. Spins out of one tackle, massive stiff arm, and he brings it up to the 35-yard line. And look, you can give up about 15 yards because last thing you want to give up is a 30-yard run to the house. So, go ahead, Brett.
No, I was just going to say that's a tough one right there because in this game, and I believe he's kind of the straw that stirs the drink, so to speak.
Perfectly way to say it. Another guy, King Hinton, a freshman wide receiver, been a solid contributor as well. And, of course, one Jamar Williams, wide receiver, running back, DB, just an absolute weapon. 11:53 left here in the third quarter now, and there goes number 3, Jamar Williams, but he's brought down in the backfield, and here comes the aggressiveness of the Westfield Hornets defense. As you mentioned, Brett, this is a time they need to get Calvary off the field as fast as possible and get their offense back on the field.
Yeah, and creating some negative plays is important. I think that, it gives you an opportunity to really...
Linebacker bringing down the dangerous Jamar Williams. Can they create another negative play, or does Braxton and the Knights find a way to get this offense back on the wheels right here? 11-12 left here in the third quarter. There goes Jakari Harris. He's out, but Jamar Williams gets another handoff. This time, about two Hornets are there to meet him, even behind the line of scrimmage as well. So now, 3rd and long. As you can see right here, folks, great pursuit by the Hornets defense. And it looks like number 27, Brooks Bentley, was in on that tackle as well.
Yeah, a defensive end position there for Bentley, and he's doing a good job of getting off blocks on that particular play. And, you can have all the fancy stuff you want, but line of scrimmage play in every level of football normally dictates who's going to win it.
Trenches always matter at every level. Brett said it best. All right, here goes Braxton. Big drop-off, and tries to connect with Jakari Harris. It looked like a clean breakup at first, but nope, the ref says pass interference, so that's going to give the offense some new life after that penalty.
That's not a penalty you see a whole lot nowadays, and I was thinking about this the other day. You normally see it way downfield, pass interference called now.
Right.
That bang-bang play in the middle of the field has been kind of not in vogue as much with referees, but they get the call there on a bang-bang play, and it's going to prolong the drive here, and not what Westfield needed. They were looking to get off the field. I don't believe, even if he doesn't get their bang-bang, that Williams is going to get the first down yardage unless he just somehow escapes the big tackle there. But
Jakari can do Jakari things,
yeah.
but I see what you mean. Back-to-back negative plays, a pass interference gives the Knights some new life. 10:22 left here in the third quarter. There goes Jakari in motion, but number 25 right there, Jedediah Holcomb, gets to the outside, gets past the first down marker, and even more. He'll get right at the 20-yard line, first down Knights, and here we go. Back-to-back negative plays, defensive pass interference turns into back-to-back first downs. 10-12 left here in the third quarter, and if Brett, as you mentioned, the first 4 minutes of this quarter will dictate how it's going to go. Right now, it's all Calvary. Braxton Wilkinson back in that shotgun formation, sends a man in motion. This time, another handoff. Holcomb had a great run that last time. He gets about a dirty 4 or 5 yards there, and here goes Calvary trying to eat away at that clock. And then this is the hard part. You get back-to-back stops, Brett, and all of a sudden you shoot yourself in the foot by a bang-bang play, and here comes the avalanche of the Calvary offense.
Yeah, it's just been unfortunate for Westfield. A lot of errors that have been uncharacteristic. Again, I think being on the road with a young team has been, an issue as well this season, which may be showing its head right now. But great job form tackling there, and going to put Calvary in probably a third down in 7 or 8.
Hey, look, if it takes 7 guys to stop Jakari Harris, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Try and stop 5 any way you can. Clock keeps on ticking. It is 9:10 left here in the third quarter, and a third and long here. They haven't been in too many of these positions when they were on that long drive in the second quarter, but finding themselves here in these third and long situations. Good news for Westfield, but again, Calvary has all the weapons right now to overcome this.
You would think Calvary is very comfortable right now, though, because the way their field goal kicker executed earlier, you're thinking if you pick up even just a little bit, you got 3 in your pocket.
Yep, and that would extend it to 19-7, which it's not the worst deficit in the world, but that mountain is starting to get a lot bigger. Jakari Harris bounces off of his hands and looks like the Hornets defender. That's number 20 right there. Cameron Staines almost had an interception right here. Here, Jakari can't handle this one, and oh my goodness, that Cameron Staines definitely wants that one to make it a quick turnover for the Hornets. And as you mentioned, here comes the
field goal attempt. This is going to be looks like about a 41-yard field goal. That might be the first mistake we've seen from Wilkinson today.
Absolutely.
Just put a little bit too much on that pass.
A little bit more touch and maybe hit closer to the first down marker right there. But a 41-yard attempt right here. It is not hit well. It might have been blocked as well, but Hornets escape that initial Calvary Knights drive with no damage. They'll take over on the
15 maybe on the line.
I gotcha. So that would be like Peyton Saville.
I don't know if it was going to get there anyways, the way it came off his foot.
Yep.
That's a win right there for Westfield, and something that, unfortunately for Calvary, you got a chance to maybe
extend that lead.
Put it away, too.
You know what? Good point right there, my friend.
Danger point for Westfield, and they dodge a bullet, but they've got to do something offensively here. Calvary has been very tough on the defensive side of the football.
All right, folks, here comes, oh my goodness, Brock Johnson trying to make a statement immediately right up the gut, and it looks like it's a first down for the Hornets.
Yeah, just tough running right there, and as we mentioned.
Nothing fancy about it there, Brett. Just go straight up the gut and make something happen.
As we mentioned earlier in the game, Rex, these two quarterbacks have really, if you're looking for players of the game, they both have kind of carried their team.
I have to definitely agree with you because at this point, 11 for both sides, leading the charge for sure. Brock, this time it's a handoff to big number 31, Jackson Hare. Hare, been a dangerous and reliable weapon all game long, and this time gets another first down. So here come the Hornets trying to build momentum, and they do it through the ground yet again.
Yeah, you've had Jackson Hare start to pick up steam, and you can definitely see he started out a little bit slow in this game, but has worked out that sore leg. I saw his parents down there during halftime, and you can tell they're excited to have him back on the field. And hopefully Westfield can maybe make this interesting. Calvary's dominated the middle part of this game, but can Westfield make it interesting here?
Brock Johnson dies downfield.
Edge the defense, but you can't hang with receivers for 12 seconds on a play.
There's only so much I can do back here, guys. 6:28 left here in the third quarter. Brock with the snap sends a man in motion. Nope, I'm going to keep it myself. A little bit of daylight right here. You know what? Pushes the blockers out of the way, and it looks like another first down here for the Hornets. Here comes the momentum all on the Westfield side. We mentioned how important it was for the Hornets to stop that Calvary offense, having all the momentum. Brock this time doing his best Haynes King impression and just diving into contact all over the place.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing Westfield go back to what was successful in the first half, which was Brock Johnson running the football, quarterback run game off of some jet motion, and really stretching the defense. And right now, good job right there by Calvary
to stop the momentum.
Yeah,
right
just
there for sure.
Just a great job crashing it in there. I think that was that 77.
So we'll say that's Andrew Wells, the sophomore defensive tackle. I thought it was a first down, folks, but it is a third and a long 2 as the crowd starts to roar here at Calvary Christian. Brock Johnson trying to get his boys back on the board. They haven't seen the end zone since the first quarter, folks. 5:20 left here in the third. Handoff to Jackson Hare. He has some new life. A lot of bounce in those legs. Gets to the outside. It's a first down and more for the Hornets. And now they're knocking on the door just outside the 10-yard line.
That's big right there. Bouncing it outside. A great job. Great vision by Hare, and picks up a huge first down for Westfield.
As you mentioned, Brett, earlier, not a lot of fast twitch to him, not a lot of wiggle to him, more of a downhill north-south guy. But look, when you have just enough space like that, create some distance, make something happen for the Hornets, as now they're inside the red zone.
Yeah, he is a plant once and make his move and then get upfield.
Scatterboo-ish.
He is not going to dance around like Quinshaw Junkins or any of those guys. He's going to make his first cut, and then he's up north and south.
4:40 left here in the third. This time another handoff to Hare. Finding some daylight in the trenches. Pushes for about 2 or 3 more yards. And here comes Westfield now eating more clock. 4:30 left here in the third quarter. It is now 2nd and goal for the Hornets. If they score right here, as we mentioned, Brett, or as you mentioned it earlier, this becomes a very interesting game.
Yeah, no doubt. And right here, you got to tell your junior quarterback, Brock Johnson, hey, we feel like with your leg, we've got 3 in our pocket. Mm-hmm. Let's not take a sack. Let's not have a penalty that puts us back. And we'll see what happens on the rest of this drive. 2nd down and 5 coming up.
2nd down and 5. It is a timeout on the field on the defense. We're going to take a timeout with them. You're watching us here at Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Houlihan serves fresh, handcrafted dishes made just the way you like them. Juicy burgers, sizzling steaks, crisp salads, and shareable appetizers set the table for every appetite. Relax with friends, celebrate special moments, or enjoy a casual night out. Houlihan's delivers great food, great drinks, and great times, with 2 locations in Columbus, downtown at the Marriott Hotel and on Sidney Simons Boulevard at the Doubletree Hotel.
At Planet Fitness, there's strength in numbers. The number of different workouts to do.
1, 2, 3.
Different clubs to do it in. Friends to do it with.
Looking good, everybody.
Yeah, we are.
And the number of ways to recover from it all.
You got this, come on.
And it all adds up to one membership. The Planet Fitness Black Card. Access any location, bring a friend anytime, and recover in the Black Card spa.
Welcome back, folks. Here comes Westfield trying to march again. That is Brock Johnson, I believe, on the carry. You just saw a Planet Fitness commercial here, so Brock, with the way he's been playing, as aggressive as he's been playing, I'm sorry, folks, if you're a Planet Fitness, he's a guy that may set off the lunk alarm. That guy has been all business and not afraid of contact at all, Brett. Here we go.
This is 4-down territory.
4-down territory, under 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Brock Johnson in that shotgun formation. Snaps. This time keeps it himself. He scored this way last time. He's getting to the outside. Does he get it again?
I think he's
both
giving
hands
a touchdown.
Both hands are up, and Brock Johnson puts the Hornets back on the board. Another 6 for the Hornets, so make it 16-13 for now. Folks, we got an interesting game right here.
Apologize on the camera work there. I think our camera guy, Jaden King, had to fight.
Seller joining you here at Georgia-Alabama Sports Live, but a big shout-out to MGSN for coming down from their neck of the woods to the west side of the state to cover down this game as Westfield just closed the gap. It is now 16-14 Calvary Christian. Brett, coming out of the break, Calvary ate up so much time in that second quarter. Looked like all the momentum was going their way, but a blocked field goal, gave Westfield new life, and Hornets are back on the board. Kick is away here. One looks like you want to keep it away from the dangerous weapon that is GIAA Harris. He decides to pick it off the turf, makes one person miss, but big number 10 for Westfield. Sheldon Benton comes all the way down to make a big-time stop on the dangerous number 5.
Tell you what, Sheldon Benton has had a whale of a game. He caught a big pass earlier in the game, and then right there you see a special teams play. So good job for the youngster in Westfield. Seems like they've captured some momentum, but just as quick as you think you've got it, Calvary can get it right back. We saw that in the first half, and I wonder, are we going to see the same thing play out here in the second half we did in the first, where Westfield kind of dominated play in the first quarter and Calvary really dominated the second? Is Westfield going to dominate the third and Calvary dominate the fourth?
Trading punches at this point. We're all going to see who's going to stand up at the end of this. It's turning out to be kind of a heavyweight fight right here. Very similar styles for both teams. Braxton Wilkinson, quick pass out to GIAA Harris. Has a little bit of daylight. 1, 2, maybe even 3 Hornets get around him, but nope. It was big number, I believe, 50 was out there.
Yeah, number 50. I think that's Caleb Andrews.
Okay, good job for Caleb Andrews to bring him down. Because GIAA Harris, again, a guy who was a little bit of daylight, makes people miss, and a whole lot of pain ensues after that.
That's impressive for the big fella to get out there and clean up the pile a little bit.
Definitely is.
You had the cornerback out there, I think number 20 for Westfield. That is Cameron Staines trying to hold things up, and then Caleb Andrews cleans things up on the end of that play. But you always want to get multiple hats around Harris.
Absolutely. 2nd down and 7. Looks like it's another handoff to Holcomb. He tries to get through the middle part of that line, and nope, the Hornets stand him up pretty tall right there. 3rd down and a long 7.
The one thing that I've noticed about Calvary, it seems like they excel in the outside run game.
Absolutely.
Not as much interior. So I wonder if maybe we might see them get back. Now, when they have had success running inside against Westfield, it's been off of the fakes, going outside on the jet sweeps, and using the quarterback run game. So we'll see if maybe they go back to that.
You know what? An excellent observation right there. They are very much more dynamic with open space. That's why they want to give their athletes all that extra time. 2 minutes left here in the third quarter. 3rd and 6. Braxton Wilkinson fires 1, 2. King hitting a great move right there. Quick turnaround. He gets the 1st down and extends this Calvary drive.
That play is made by the quarterback. If you watch this play, he makes that throw before he even gets out of the break and extends the drive, because they were on the verge, Calvary was, of going 3 and out and giving the ball right back to the Hornets.
You're absolutely right. You got to throw that ball before King turns his head around, and so King turns around, reacts, catches the ball. 1st down, Knights. 1:35 left here in the second quarter. Another quick pass to GIAA Harris. The screen pass. He gets down the sideline. Stays in bounds. He's now brought down at the 45. It's a 1st down, Knights. That looked like, Brett, it could have been a 1 or 2 yard gain. All of a sudden turns to a 15-yard gain. 1st down, Knights. Number 5 is something special, folks, and he is just a freshman.
Yeah, the thing there that I would like to see from Harris is he's carrying that ball out wide. I was really nervous that he was going to get it poked out. But other than that, just a great job by the freshman getting upfield, being electric, and making plays in the open field.
1:20 left here in the first quarter. There goes Jamar Williams. He eats up about 7 yards. A tough run right there. The young man was on the sideline with his helmet off, and it looks like he might be calling for a sub right here. Little gingerly right here.
He got stood up pretty hard earlier in this possession, and I wonder if maybe that is just some effects of some hard tackling here on this drive. That one didn't seem to be as aggressive of a hit, but you fall just right on something that's been
sore,
bothering you.
Yeah. 45 seconds left here. Holcomb gets the call right here. Big spin move, but met by 2 Hornets.
Ooh, we got a flag.
Big time. Big hits. It looks like a flag here. We'll check what the laundry is all about. Looks like what the side turned into a 3rd and Auburn at that point if he was tackled in the backfield.
That could have been a disaster for the Knights of Calvary, and luckily for Calvary, they're able to get some positive yards.
18 seconds left here, 3rd and 7 right now. Can the Knights keep this drive alive? A lot of pressure from the Hornets. Holcomb trying to escape, but
he got him
brought
that time.
Down by number 21 right there. Big number Liam Sexton, the senior, middle linebacker and wide receiver. Well, he stalls.
That's going to wrap up the 3rd, Rex.
And that we're now heading, if you see a bunch of 4s in the air, we're heading into the 4th and final quarter. Calvary leads 16-14, but looks like the Knights will give up. We'll have to punt away the ball. You're watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We'll see you right after the break.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long-distance love. For the far-sighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
It's a great day for a new Chevrolet from Glenn Smith in Opelika. Hit the road in a rugged new full-size Chevy Silverado with discounts up to $12,250 off MSRP. New Chevy Traverse, the spacious and comfortable ride with affordable pricing. Now with discounts up to $4,000 off MSRP. People from all over the USA are coming to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Get ready to drive and get ready to smile.
Welcome back to Georgia Alabama Sports Live. It is the 4th and final quarter. Calvary leads this one 16-14, but the Hornets, big-time defensive stop, are getting the ball back right here. Wilkinson punts this one away, and looks like the Hornets will leave this one alone. It's going to bounce around and stop at the 22-yard line. So we got a 2-point game here. Brett, what you expecting for the Hornets at this drive?
I don't know. I mean, this is, and it's kind of what we thought it was going to be, Rex.
Absolutely.
I mean, we thought it was going to be down to the wire, and Westfield has made a little bit of a comeback. They've done a good job of withstanding some potential long drives from Calvary. The missed field goal to start the half, then right there they get a punt after a couple first downs.
Right.
So bending but not breaking. Calvary's looking to try to, if they get the ball back, let's punch it in again.
And put this one away.
Right.
But the Hornets can make things very interesting with this drive. 11:49 left here in the 4th quarter. Here comes Brock Johnson and this offense. Jackson Hare looked like he was about to take it. Nope. There goes Brock Johnson. He's got a first down. A couple more. A great way to start this drive for the Hornets. But Calvary, all right, that's a little punch to the gut right here. Can you respond? 11:39 left here in the 4th quarter. Brett, another example. Brock has put a lot of the load on his shoulders with this game. He scored both touchdowns for the Hornets.
Yeah, and if you saw him right there kind of stop and just kind of make a business decision maybe.
Yeah.
He's also dealing with a little bit of a quad injury, I think. He had earlier in the year against stiff area. He missed the whole second half, and they had to have the young quarterback come in, and his name's escaping me. But anyway, so having to play a little bit risk-averse, if you will.
Hey, Jackson Hare gets the call on that one, and once again, by you saying that, the Haynes King comparison, very, very appropriate. Yeah. 11:30 left here now in the 4th and final quarter with Calvary holding on to a 2-point lead. That short run makes it about 2nd down and 9. Cannot emphasize how great Jackson Hare has been for this Hornets offense. He's been a guy, because again, Brock probably wants to do it himself, but Jackson has been a dangerous weapon to set up a lot of these opportunities.
Yeah, and I'm surprised they've been able to do a lot of damage in the run game without utilizing Win Hoots a whole lot tonight. He hasn't really been the difference maker I thought he might be.
All right, there goes Brock once again. It finds a little bit of daylight, but this time, this run is a whole lot shorter. and it's going to be 3rd and about 7 at this point. You brought up Win Hoots, a guy who is a state record holder in the 4x100. Here's a really interesting matchup. If he's ever one-on-one, guess who's across the way from him? Ja'Carri Harris, the freshman. So, look, selfishly, just throw a ball up and see what would happen at that point.
Yeah, and so what balance out Westfield's offense, I think, is when you have the reinsertion of a Stone St. Clair who's got the same kind of speed, that would really help the Hornets out. But right now, obviously, with his injury, not available. So you got to do what you got to do.
Brock, all kinds of pressure. Has 2 Knights in his face. Switches field, dodges the pressure. 10-13 left here. Keeps his eyes downfield. Bombs one. Win Hoots wide open, and it hits his hands, but falls down on the turf.
And that is the danger with Brock Johnson and Win Hoots. They just know how to get behind defenses. And unfortunately, unfortunately for the Hornets, does not pay off. And Calvary dodges a bullet there.
Perfect way to put it. That could have been the play of the game. Hook, line, and sinker at that point, folks. But a massive gain turns to 4th and 9, and the Hornets have no choice but to put this one in the air, and Calvary will get the ball back. But again, that's something you cannot sleep on Win Hoots. He has been mostly quiet this game here, Brett.
He has.
But number 8 can break out and make something happen dangerously. Brock, also your punter, kicks this one away. Hits it to Ja'Carri Harris. This time looks like he'll just stay away from it, and Win touches it to get the ball dead right about the 25-yard line.
Sometimes those ugly punts work out, and right there for Westfield, it definitely did. Trying to keep it away from Ja'Carri Harris. But right here, Calvary wants to get back in that rhythm that they had, especially in the outside run game, and then mixing in Wilkinson with the quarterback run in the middle. We'll see what they do starting out here. The first play is going to be huge to try to get momentum. Not that they're running the same kind of scheme as Tennessee, but they seem to feed off of the energy like Tennessee does against Georgia. They get that first down, they start going.
Yeah, it's like an avalanche at that point. Folks, with massive plays probably still on the table, we're going to tell you all about the All-State Good Hands player of the game at the end of the game. We're going to pick one guy. I know it's been tough, especially with all the incredible plays around here, but stay tuned for that. 9:55 left here in the game. Braxton Wilkinson, quick screen pass to Jamar Williams. Makes a man miss. Gets to the outside. He's at the 20. Getting to the 25 and out of bounds at that point to stop the clock. 9:45 left here in the 4th and final quarter to set up a 2nd down and 5. Also, folks, make sure to follow Georgia Alabama Sports Live on all social media platforms for the latest updates on local sports in our area. Don't miss a game. Subscribe to all of our pages later today. And we had a halftime show, folks. At the end of the game, we're also going to have a recap show, the GIAA High School Scoreboard Show presented by the Beck Center. And our guy, Richard Holdridge, is on the road right now doing an incredible job for us. It's going to be a great recap show. He has plenty to talk about, Brett, from this game. It has been a back-and-forth battle. 9:45 left here in the 4th and final quarter. 2nd and 7 for the Knights. A man in motion now for Braxton. Well, fakes the handoff, decides to go up in the trenches. And, my gosh, he is stopped immediately. Pretty much at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a 1 or 2 yard gain to set up a 3rd, and I'll say a long 6 at this point.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that Coach Lee Campbell, who is Coach Chad Campbell's brother, the defensive coordinator for Westfield, has made some adjustments in the quarterback run game, leaving an extra man in there. That was a great play. I don't know who got the tackle there.
It was definitely messy in there, but
getting him on the ground, that ate Westfield's lunch in the first half.
And look, a 3rd and 5 looks a whole lot longer than a 3rd and 2 or a 3rd and 1.
Absolutely.
Braxton Wilkinson sends a man in motion. The dangerous Ja'Carri Harris goes from one side to the other. Here comes the snap. Ball is away. Braxton, plenty of time, but all of a sudden, a whole lot of
year after year as a leader in patient satisfaction and quality of care. Jack Houston Memorial Hospital. Excellence, always.
Welcome back to Calvary Christian School, folks. Just wanted to give you an update. Good news that King Hinton was able to walk off the field on his own power. He is limping, so he'll head to the trainer's table. The freshman wide receiver and defensive back has been one of those reliable weapons. If you need him in a bit, if you need just a solid 6-7 yards, he has answered the call right there. So hopefully he makes his way back to the field too. 8:49 left here in the 4th and final quarter. 1st down and 10 for the Knights. They have a 2-point lead. Braxton Wilkinson and his Knights looking to extend that lead at this point. All right, so 2 receivers to his left, 2 to his right. Holcomb goes from one side to the other. So make that 3 receivers to Braxton's left. But this time, it's a pitch out. Ja'Carri Harris, the dangerous weapon right there, drags a man for about a yard and eventually brought down. 2nd down and 5 for the Knights. I tell you, every time he touches this ball, my friend, it is a highlight waiting to happen. Right at the beginning of this game, Brett had mentioned, even in Middle Georgia, Ja'Carri's reputation follows him, man. What do you think so far? He hasn't disappointed, has he?
Yeah, he's a very good player, very electric. He's got a good burst, initial burst.
Right off the gates, right?
Yeah, and you saw it right there getting around the end, and he's only going to get better. He's a youngster, and he's got some more developing to do, obviously, with his body.
Holcomb gets the call, gets the first down and more, makes 1, 2-man miss. This time gets out to about the 43-yard line. Knights set up in Hornets territory with 8:04 left on the clock.
And so this is where Calvary has bogged down in these first few drives of this second half. The key is going to be making that play that kind of keeps you in manageable 2nd and 3rd downs, because that's really what bit them in the first couple drives. We'll see if they can do that here.
Braxton, another handoff to Holcomb. He made that first down run, and now he spins for about a 3 or 4 yard gain. Holcomb, another guy, he may not get as much of the spotlight as some of his other teammates, but a solid option here in the running back room as well. He's only a freshman as well, Brett. A smaller guy, a little bit more shifty than Ja'Carri or Jamar, but what a great contributor he has been so far.
Yeah, he's come up with some big plays, especially on 3rd down, getting to the outside. He seems to like the edge running, and they're going to move Ja'Carri Williams into the slot here. We'll see if they go in the air.
7:26 left here in the fourth and final quarter. Here goes Holcomb. 3rd run call for him in a row, and a big first down for him. And now here come the Knights setting up on the 30-yard line. We just talked about it. Been a solid contributor here, Brett. And again, when Ja'Carri takes up so much of your attention, that opens up the opportunity for someone to step up. And shout out to Holcomb for answering the call. 3 calls in a row, and it's been positive runs every single time.
Yeah, Westfield over pursued there. They set the edge, but nobody to fill underneath, and Holcomb just picks them apart right there. I mean, you've got to play a little bit more discipline and not completely lose the leverage.
All right, here comes Braxton. This time it's a handoff to Ja'Carri, who gets stood up by number 2, Carter Black. Look, it's one of those things you got to bring down 5 as fast as you can. And folks, just an update. Looks like Jamar Williams has his pads off and his helmet off. It doesn't look like he will be returning to this game.
That's not good news.
Not good news for the Knights moving forward, but if it's one of those things where we have to save him for this man.
I mean, that right there showed his ability to get between the tackles, run with some good pad level, and then he breaks it to the outside, which he's obviously naturally gifted at. And right now, knocking on the door to try to extend this lead.
Braxton Wilkinson, snap is away, hand off to Holcomb. He's been great on this drive. Can he get into the end zone? Stands up and does. Calvary gets another 6 on the board. Make it 22-14 Knights so far with 6:12 left here in the 4th and final quarter. Look, 5 has eaten up a lot of the attention there, Brett, but number 25 comes up with the score here.
Yeah, how big was I tell you what, the play of that drive was that diving catch on 3rd down early in the possession. Because we mentioned it before, if you can get that first down and get things rolling, that seems when Calvary is at their best. And that play, they were just able to get without it hitting the ground, and they completed it and extended the drive. And that ends, and that extra point right there was huge.
Griffin Snow makes it 23-14, and I'm glad you brought it up because that is Sawyer Talbot, the junior wide receiver, who extended that drive and kept the Knights in this one. So, folks, 23-14 with 6:12 left to go in this game. If Calvary pulls this off, it would be their first region win of the season. Their first 2 region games, big-time matchups against Pacelli and Brookstone. Those are 2 solid programs no matter where they play, Brett. So let's see if Calvary can get in, can finish the mission here. But Westfield, not out of this one. They get another score here, makes it a 2-point game yet again. They would extend their winning streak to 4. A lot to play for and a lot to be decided here at 6:12 left here in the 4th and final quarter.
Yeah, so Westfield's going to have to, I think, change it up a little bit because they've got 3 timeouts, but they really need to score quick and try to get the ball back a second time. I mean, it's just 2 possessions, so that just tells you how huge that missed that incompletion was on that, what looked to be a big play, because we could be talking about a Westfield 2-point lead. Now it's a 9-point lead for Calvary, and Westfield's got to score twice.
And look, a guy like Wynn can make some dangerous things happen. He did not go down easily, but eventually brought down at the 37-yard line. Hey, folks, look, we're almost done here, but for the ultimate wrap-up of the Georgia High School football show, you got to check out the GIAA High School Scoreboard Show. You don't want to miss any of this. Richard and Thrift will get you all caught up on all the action from every corner of the state. It will be live tonight at the GIAA Facebook page and GIAA TV. That's at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central. A great wrap-up show by both of those guys. I believe it's actually Richard, who's on the road right now at Shorter University. The man is dedicated beyond belief. 6:02 left here in the fourth and final quarter.
Yeah, both guys are on the road right now. I'm not sure how that monsoon was going over in Americas for
Brock Johnson
Thrift.
fakes the handoff and finds number 2. That is Carter Black. Scrambles for a first down and more. And 5:53 left here in the fourth quarter. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, my friend, but absolutely you're right. I had some meteorologists say it won't be too bad. It'll just be a sprinkle down there in America. So yeah, we have several reporters down there who say otherwise.
It was a monsoon over in our area before we headed this way, and I tell you what, coming this way was a breath of fresh air.
Just to put the windshield wipers down, right? Looks like somebody jumped on the Calvary Christian side, so some free yards for the Hornets. 5:52 left here to go in the fourth quarter, and we've seen a healthy dose of Brock Johnson being able to use his legs to be dangerous. But my goodness, and that last drive, if you missed it, folks, Brock scrambled out of all kinds of pressure and almost connected with Win Hoots for a massive gain. So that combination, still dangerous to look out for here, Brett.
Yeah, you've got to account for 8, no doubt, especially in a scramble situation.
And look, here goes the scramble yet again. Escapes one tackle. He has about 3 guys around him and gets it to Win Hoots. Win makes more guys miss. Look, goes back to the other side.
Telling you.
Plenty of room right there. He's at the 40, 35-30, 25-20. Win still going at the 10-yard line. Eventually brought down inside the 5-yard line. Folks, we are not done yet. 5:31 left here in the fourth quarter. Win ate up all kinds of turf. Hornets knocking on the door yet again.
Yeah, I mean, this is a completely broken play, and somehow you're going to see it here. Somehow he survives.
It was like, dude, just go make something happen. Ape makes 1 man miss, makes 2 men miss. Big time block right there. Get to the other side of where some nothing but green grass and Georgia sky in front of you. Win eventually brought down deep inside. Nice territory. Here's a handoff to Jackson Hare. Hare runs over one guy and eventually looks like he's got a touchdown. Jackson Hare closes the gap. And once again, the Hornets make it a 3-point game thanks to that touchdown. Jackson Hare has been a reliable weapon.
All right, they're saying there's a flag. This may be after the play.
Okay, here, let's check out what the white hat has to say.
I don't know. We'll see. Looks like offsetting.
Offsetting or unsportsmanlike?
Hold on. No, I think you're right. I was
unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, I believe.
Did they not call it on both?
Hold on here, folks. Lots to figure out here.
I think regardless, the points are going to count.
That's what I'm thinking, too.
It's going to be how far does Westfield have to kick the kickoff, or how short do they have to kick it?
There you go. Is this a long field goal, or do we roll the dice here to make it a 1-point game?
Rex tried to take me out with his pin after that score. So
when the electricity is in the air, and look, that's my fault.
I was dodging things, man.
Look, Jackson Hare is the only one who's got moves out here. All right, folks, so here we go. The extra point from Brock Johnson.
Oh, bad snap.
Bad snap, but Brock has put up more points on the board. And guess what, folks? Get your popcorn ready and get a comfortable seat. Was straight north and south, and let's get into some pay dirt. So it is a 23-21 lead for Calvary. Calvary gets the ball back with 5:26 left here in the fourth quarter. So how does Calvary respond at this point, Brett? If you go too fast, you still have the lead. You still have a comfortable lead, even if you give but if you go too slow, you eat up all that time. And the best way to stop an offense that has momentum like that. Keep them on the sideline.
You need a 4-minute drive.
A 4-minute drive?
I mean, you'd like a 5-minute, 26-second drive, but you need that 4-minute drive mentality. Let's take over the game.
Let's slow it down.
Run the ball. Let's pick up 4 or 5 yards a chunk, and let's drive it down the field, and we'll end it with about 10 seconds to go with a kneel. If I'm Calvary, that's what I'm looking for.
If you're Westfield, what are you thinking now?
I'm thinking that we've got to dedicate more bodies to the box, and we've got to live or die with what Wilkinson does with his arm. I don't think Calvary's going to want to put the ball in the air too much, but I think you've got to try to stop the run game that's been so successful for Calvary. I mean, that's what's put Calvary in the lead.
Absolutely.
Is the run game. They haven't beat you in the air, so that to me that's the poison I pick.
So, and again, because that dynamic run game has gashed you left and right, especially with GIAA Harris, obviously, but big shout out to Jedediah Holcomb, a freshman. He's listed as a DB and a wide receiver, but he's stepped up in a big way in that running back role.
Yeah, he's played good, and he's been the change of pace back you need.
Absolutely.
And Harris has been so impressive because he's been able to run between the tackles exclusively on the last drive, which they needed because Williams got hurt.
Right. Jamar still not out there. Number 3, if you're wondering where he is on the sideline. A pretty significant injury, at least knocked him out of this game, but he was standing up and on his own. But here goes Braxton Wilkinson. GIAA Harris out to the side. This time, hand off to Holcomb. Holcomb makes 1, 2-man miss, has some daylight. Brought down. He's got a first down and more. We just said his name, and my goodness, Holcomb has made himself a factor in the second half. 5:17 left here in the fourth and final quarter, but it's a first down for the Knights, setting up just outside their own 40-yard line. And here, look at this run again. A guy who does not go down easily. They tried to strip the ball because obviously, you wanted that fumble. You want to get that back because it's just a 2-point game, folks. 5:10 left here in the fourth quarter. First down for the Knights. And Braxton. This is crucial right here in Calvary territory.
He's holding up too. He's saying second down.
All right, so second down. Hornets thought they had it for a little bit. Still pointing. Who's got it? It is second down from the White Hat.
Oh,
I know that there's a lot of passion on that sideline.
That's not good.
Let's say some choice words from the coaching staff at Westfield.
I mean, I have nothing to comment there because I couldn't see a thing.
We couldn't look. We are a good distance away here, folks, but it was definitely. This is the kind of thing we expected in this game, especially this close. Crazy things can happen with 4:43 left here in the fourth quarter. Braxton Wilkinson, 3 receivers to his right, Holcomb to his left, 1 receiver up top. What can they do to keep this drive sustained? It's second down and 9. Harris was the man with the ball. There goes the ball. It's free again. Did Harris jump on it? Here we go. Let's go again. Who has it one more time? This ball,
man.
Look, it is a bad time to catch some fumbleitis, folks. That is back-to-back plays where the ball has hit the turf.
That was clear.
That was very clear to all of us. 4:15 left here in the fourth quarter. Cries from the stands, please hold on to the ball. And we're going to march this thing down to the 4-minute mark. It is getting tense here at Calvary Christian.
I think that was just stripped out. There wasn't much he could do to hold on to it.
And look, credit to the Hornets defense because this is a time where you need some aggressive plays like that. 3:55 left here in the fourth quarter. Holcomb and Braxton going over the plays. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to his right. Braxton, can he calm down his offense right here? It is 3rd and 7. Hornets pinning their ears back, and it looks like, hold up, folks, do we have a timeout?
No, they may have a
delay of game on the Calvary Christian Knights offense. That's going to make it 3rd and even longer. So, believe that's 3rd and 12 at this point with 3:40 to go. This is the last thing you wanted was to give up free yards as the offense. Some substitutions being made here.
If I'm Coach Lee Campbell on defense for Westfield, I don't get lulled into the idea that Calvary's throwing the ball here.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because in my opinion, this as an offensive, I'm not an offensive coordinator, but in my mind as an offensive coordinator,
and
I'm thinking
as a wide receiver as well.
I'm thinking this is a perfect time for me to spread it out, make them think I'm throwing, and run it underneath them with a draw or something to try to catch them napping.
3:40 left here to go in the fourth quarter. We heard it. This could be a good opportunity, as Brett mentioned, to eat up more clock. Here we go. Snap is away. Braxton scanning. This time, looks like he may call his own number. This time, flings the ball. It is incomplete.
And that was the last thing you wanted to do. If you're as good as that's the second mistake I feel like from him tonight. That's the last thing you want because you stop the clock now.
3:33.
I think you put the defender in a quandary there and you run the ball
Just
at him.
Yeah, you hold it,
if
you pump it for a
get
little
tackled in bounds,
there goes the clock.
Clock's running. If not, then you might pick up a first down.
So here we go, folks. The Hornets, exactly what they needed. A big-time stop, down by 2 with 3:33 left in the fourth quarter. So Braxton Wilkinson goes from quarterback to punter. What will happen here? The dangerous Win Hoots back there to receive it. Big-time kick.
Yeah, good punt.
Big air, and here goes Win. He's at the 30-yard line, surrounded by some Knights, but gets free at the 40. He's staying on his feet at the 45. 3:19 left here in the fourth quarter, and a good setup here for the Hornets. Again, they're close to Calvary territory. So 3:18. You got 3:18 to work with here, my friend. Let's take a look at this replay. Hoots, again, a dangerous weapon no matter where he's at. And look at the patience. Look at the vision right here. Quick move right there to get past all those defenders, stays on his feet, and then just drives his feet to stay up at the 45-yard line. Brock Johnson, and here comes the Hornets offense led by Brock Johnson, who's already had 2 rushing touchdowns, and Jackson Reed, the 3rd touchdown.
Got something.
It looks like the officials calling for the band
to be quiet.
To be quiet.
Well, normally the opposing band can't play while the other offense is trying to make call. I don't know. That's always
pushing the limits of.
Yeah, that's always there's always some discretionary time there the officials normally give, but I guess this late in the game they're wanting to call it pretty straight.
This is why Brett's the professional, guys. All right. Brock calls his own number, gets to the sideline he's already got 5 yards. Can he get more? He's at the 7, maybe pushed out right at the marker. Where the spot is will determine if this is a first down or second and short.
Here's the thing that I think. So obviously I cover Westfield.
Yes, sir.
And Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We cover Calvary a good bit. These two teams are not going to meet in the playoffs. These two teams are only going to improve their seeding by games like this.
Gotcha.
And I see both of these teams as playoff teams.
It feels like a playoff game right now.
I want a great game no matter what.
3:05 left here in the fourth quarter. And it's another handoff. Jackson Reed, who just scored that touchdown to cut the lead to 2, gets a tough 5 yards. Hey, folks, this is an interesting thing to watch out for. Win Hoots, who is the dangerous weapon, matched up with GIAA Harris, the speedster, the dangerous weapon for Calvary. I don't know if that matchup's ever going to happen, if it's going to come down to that, but that's something to watch. 2:45 left here in this quarter. It's 2nd down and 6. All the momentum seems like it's with the Hornets, but can the Calvary defense step up? Here we go.
This is your drive if you're Westfield. So this is not a clock issue. So there you see the timeout. So
we're going to take a quick break with them, folks. You're watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Don't go anywhere. We got a barn burner here at Calvary Christian. We'll be right back.
What's up, everyone? Thrift Behringer here with Masterwall CEO C. Smithwick. They're one of our first sponsors. We didn't even know what sponsors were 4 years ago when I was doing this off my phone. Thank you so much, C, for your support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Oh, it's something that was needed for so long in the Valley, and me with my history of being a coach and all. Love to support it. You do a great job with that. Even when you were doing it on your phone, it was great.
I appreciate it, man. And again, we wouldn't be able to cover the 50 different high schools and all the different sports without Masterwall and different businesses like yourself. But you're also a coach and now a award-winning author. We have Believer, Bulldog, and Coach. You can get on Amazon right now. You were the winningest basketball coach in Calvary history. What was the mindset behind writing this book?
Well, it's, I kind of treated it as a ministry, and I treat our business as a ministry. Loved what I did as a coach, working with those young guys and trying to set an example and point them in the right direction, and kind of do the same thing with business.
Want to give a big shout out to Masterwall for being a presenting sponsor. This has been a fantastic game here at Calvary Christian. Rex Castillo, Brett Taylor joining it. Here's a pitch to Jackson Reed. He's got to the 40, 35, 30. He's got the first down and more. He's eventually pushed out of bounds, and that's even bigger right here, Brett, because not only to get the first down, he's out of bounds, stops the clock, 2:27 left in the fourth.
Yeah, you've been effective running the ball. Looks like we may have somebody hurt on the sidelines. I don't know if that's Hare or it looks like it might be Jackson Hare with a cramp.
It looks like Jackson Hare trying to stretch this thing out. Here comes the trainer to try and stretch this one out.
The ever speedy Joe Allen, who is the master trainer over there at Westfield.
And want to give a big shout out to the Jack Houston Memorial Hospital injury timeout. We'll see how Jackson Hare, he has been great for this drive.
Oh, he's running
and
off.
he's right back up.
I think it was a quick cramp, but he's got to come out. So
he's got to come out for at least one
play. Yeah,
right?
At least a play. So.
All right, folks. Hey, look, we have had such a great time with you, but if you can't just get enough of high school football, you got to tune into the GIAA High School Scoreboard Show tonight on the GIAA Facebook page and GIAA TV live every Friday, 11 Eastern, 10 Central. Our guy Richard Holdridge holding down the fort on the road, and Thrift Behringer, our fearless leader, actually down in Americus for a great game there. We'll have to recap that one. 2:27 left here in the fourth. Brock Johnson sends a man in motion. That's the dangerous Win Hoots. Fakes the handoff. Gets the first down, does he? Well, he put his head down and fought for the yards there. I think he's actually short, so we'll count that as maybe third down and a long 3.
If I'm Calvary, I'm thinking about using timeouts.
That's an excellent point. Because you
want
to stop momentum, get some rest.
You're in field goal range if you're Westfield, so a field goal beats you if you're Calvary.
You right here, and so we have 2 minutes left.
Yeah, you got to save some time. Unless you just want to pin it on this, unless you're like, hey, my defense is going to step up.
2nd down and 4. Brock calls his own number once again. Can he get to the first down marker? Big tackle right there. Excuse me, folks. I'm starting to get a little too excited. 3rd down, and it looks like 3rd and a long 3. No timeouts called. We have 1:39 left here in the game. And as Brett mentioned, a field goal beats you. Brett, are we? Here real quick. This has been an issue for the Westfield Hornets, the exchange. You're worried about the hold when it comes to Brock trying to get this game-winning field goal. We've seen it a couple times. Does it still worry you at this point, especially with these timeouts?
Yeah, because he's got plenty of leg. And so my thing is it's all the peripheral stuff. I think if you have a good snap, a good hold, you have a better than 70% chance for him to cash in.
Well, look, 70% might be good for all of us, but we know the NFL wants 99.9%.
I understand that, but we're talking high school.
We're talking
football.
high school. That's also very fair. I got to give credit, though, to Brock Johnson. This man has done everything he could. 2 touchdowns, great receptions, and now could his right foot be the winning contact for the Hornets? Or does Calvary Christian, who you know to bring the house, snap is away, ball is up in the air, it is through.
Wow.
Hornets take the 1-point lead.
9 seconds left, though.
24-23. 9 seconds left in this one, and it looks like we do have a man down. I think we'll have to take
Calvary?
For Calvary, it looks like a man is down. But no, he's back up on his feet. All right, it was just shaking up a little bit. A lot of reason to celebrate if you're the Hornets. If you are the Calvary Christian Knights, it's time to make some magic happen.
I'm just going to tell you, this game has turned out to be a classic.
This is an instant classic. You took the words right out of my mouth. Okay, so here's what's going on here, folks. The Knights down 23-24. They have not won a region game this season just yet. They lost to Pacelli, lost to Brookstone. This one is a close one. 9 seconds left. So, you know that GIAA Harris is back there. Number 5 is a problem if you give him the ball. And at this point, what can you do to stop him? If you have 5, you have a chance. Braxton Wilkinson has been a monster as well.
You know how you stop him?
How's that?
Kick it out of bounds.
There you go. I will take the penalty as long as it means 5 doesn't touch the ball.
That's my thought. I mean, he's just too dynamic. And I wouldn't kick it to Holcomb either if he's back there.
Because Holcomb has a bunch of momentum right now.
Holcomb is a great ball player.
We are 9 seconds away from the end of this game. Of course, that also means the Alex Quinney Good Hands player of the game will be revealed. Look, we have the leader in the clubhouse at this point, folks, to use a golf term, because Brock Johnson has been an absolute monster. 9 seconds left. We're kicking the ball off. GIAA Harris, Holcomb back there for the Knights. Could a miracle return happen? Here we go. It is a little tense, to say the very least, here at Calvary Christian. Squib Kip is away. They did not touch it. Clock has not started, and And
he's got to pick it up. Oh, it finally went out of bounds.
It finally went out of bounds.
What a great play. Who was that?
I believe
number 4.
That was number 4. Caleb Lewis, a junior defensive back and wide receiver.
What a heady play.
I was about to say, you know that moment in baseball, especially since we're in the playoffs, like, please go foul.
Yeah.
Please go foul. Please go foul. Went foul. Okay.
What a heady play by him.
So that means it's a little bit more time, a little bit better positioning for the Calvary Christian Knights. Look, there's a lot of interesting things that could happen here. 9 seconds isn't a lot of time, but there are enough athletes on this Calvary Christian
without a
offense
doubt,
to make something happen.
You get the ball in Five's hands, and you
Buckle up.
You got any timeouts left? They're showing 3 on both. We know that's not true.
That's not true, but
we don't know if anybody has any timeouts or not.
I don't know what's happening with the timeout situation, but I do know that Braxton Wilkinson has a gun.
And you can see what Westfield's doing. They're playing quarters, and they're playing like 35 yard off the ball.
I think there's a guy back in Perry where the goal line is at this point. But here we go.
Or do you play the whole timeout? You can run.
Balls
something.
away. That is a pass completed
That's
to Nate
exactly
Stokes.
Great play call right there.
So that only took 5 seconds off the clock. We have 4 seconds left in this game, and it's a better setup for the Calvary Christian Knights, at least closer
I don't
to
know
the
if he can
50-yard
get
line.
it in. This is a long. I mean,
That is a bomb of a throw.
He's got a great arm, but that's a long throw.
I don't know if you have one more play left. It is pretty much. Look, we all know what's happening. Hail Mary, probably, most likely. But if you can make something happen with some laterals and something interesting to happen, look, we've seen hook and ladders work.
I think that Calvary must be out of timeouts because I'd be taking a timeout here and talking to my offensive line and saying, hey, we've got.
Braxton bombs this one over. First region win of the season. I think it's pretty. And he kicked the game-winning field goal to put the Hornets up 24-23. Brett, how'd you like your time down here at Calvary?
Well, I tell you what, I'm sure I'll be back. I like this atmosphere here tonight. You know, I can definitely see the effort that Calvary's putting into their football program. And just you can see it all around from the concession stands to the stands to what they're doing up here in the press box area. You can definitely tell they're committed to football here. And they've got a really good football team. And I had a great time here. I really appreciate the opportunity to come over and share in this broadcast. And we got probably the best game I've done all season long. So that's another treat, cherry on the top of the treat there. And honestly, I hate that either team had to lose here tonight because both of them left it all out on the field. And what a heartbreaker for Calvary. I feel for those kids on homecoming.
Oh, man.
They poured their guts out. You could tell that they were really anticipating a win here.
Absolutely.
And, you know, that's one of the great things about sports and also one of the most devastating things about sports. But
someone's got to lose, my friend.
They're going to be a program to be reckoned with in the near future, and I think they can make a playoff run, win a couple games, and sneak up on some people.
I definitely think this is an opportunity for growth for both sides. Calvary Christian, what a fight! But a lot of unfortunate injuries, a lot of some mistakes were made, and a young team that can only get better. For the other side, Westfield, you mentioned this is a young team that came into a hostile environment. They knew it was homecoming, and they come out with a big-time win. So impressed with Brock Johnson doing literally everything for the Hornets. On the other side, so impressed with GIAA Harris. The kid's a freshman. I have to remind myself of that. 5 is a problem. Braxton Wilkinson, untimely mistakes. To his credit, though, made maybe 2 or 3 of them. Y'all, thank you so much for joining us right here at Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. Big shout-out to our guy, Brett Taylor from Middle Georgia Sports Network, for partnering with us and making this broadcast possible. Of course, all of you, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We got the GIAA scoreboard show with our guy, Richard Holdridge, on the road, holding it down to bring you all the highlights that are coming up. He's got plenty to talk about with this one, folks. Richard, if you're listening, if it's my opinion, this is your game of the week at this point. Congratulations to Westfield. What is that, 6-2, 4 in a row. The Calvary Christian Knights fall to 5-3, still searching for that first region win. For Brett Taylor, I'm Rex Castillo. Thank you so much for joining us right here at Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. We'll see you next week for even more great high school football action.